So now what do I do? Well, I guess there's only one thing. There's something I'd like to know. Are you real? Can you feel?
Hi friends and Prairie Vintage. My name's Linda. I'm an energy intuitive reader here on YouTube, and I use spirits, my intuition, the tarot to communicate energies to you guys, fabulous viewers. If you guys are new to this channel, welcome. I'm so glad you guys found me. For those of you guys returning, I'm so blessed to be here. I can't wait to get into your reading. You guys are all very safe and welcome in this space with me today. If you guys want to go straight away to the readings, you can see the timestamp in the description box and the pinned comment below. Although I do want to really emphasize the type of reading I'll be doing today. Okay, so if you wander over here, click happy and find yourself in a bundle of hurt, do not come back and, well, you can do what you want, but come blame me because I'm just going to boop you right here. So what am I booping you to? Well, this reading here is all about healing, okay? And healing doesn't always feel very good. Sometimes it feels good and sometimes it feels very painful. Sometimes it's confusing and disorientating. Okay, this reading is all about shadow integration, healing, turning crap into light, okay? So it's really transmutation of energy that is getting in the way of your success or your liberation or your ability to feel at peace at the end of the day, okay? So my intention is always to get you as close to yourself as possible, okay? And you might want to call it your high self, ascension. I'm going to call it yourself, your truest, authentic self, okay? Now, we have to unbind a lot of what is not us in order for us to get close to who we are. There is no seeking, chasing, attaining a different version of who you are. There's no striving to be perfect. There's no something out there that you're supposed to be that's not you, okay? What you are supposed to be is self. But self is conditioned, programmed, hurt upon years of programming, conditioning, experiences, and a whole bunch of stuff that we might not even realize is going on top of the beautiful light. And so now we're in the fog, we're in the darkness, we're all bunged up. And we don't even realize, or maybe we do and we don't know how to find our way out, okay? And so you are already whole, heal, and complete behind everything that's happened to you. You're there. There is no you that's going to be outside of you. Okay, so the reason I do this is not for those of you guys doing perpetual shadow work so you could become something else. Okay, you'll be forever trying to attain some version of yourself that is not you. And that's not going to make you feel at ease or peaceful. You're going to keep striving to be better, bigger, smarter, faster, stronger. Okay, then you don't have to at all. The only thing that you want to maybe do if you're suffering is look through the illusion. You can call this ego, you can call this shadow, you could call this devil, darkness, negative polarity. I don't give a rat's behind. Trauma, okay? People get triggered with words. I'm not here to be an English teacher. Energy doesn't really fit into words. Words are just sort of third person removed, okay? It doesn't really even mean much of anything, but in order for me to communicate in a way that we all sort of understand is through words. Okay, so we can't get hung up on words. We got to use our feels to really inner feel what it is that's coming through here. And so this is how you develop intuition as well. It's through feels. It's not through intellect. It's not through, oh yeah, this sounds right because I know it. Okay, then that would just be validating and confirming your own sort of illusions in your mind. Okay, and the mind is nothing but just an illusion, a mirage, a whole subset of stories, beliefs that don't exist. No matter how much we're attached to it or how strong or how much conviction we have to that belief, that story, that identity. Okay, and I always use the example, if I truly believed I was like Joe Biden or whatever, a unicorn, or a tree. And I really honestly was being very genuine with you. And I said, I am a unicorn. I really feel it. I start eating grass. Like, you're not going to suddenly say that I am, right? Like, you're not going to start believing it at all. And so Your beliefs are nothing but illusions. And these beliefs are built over time based on conditioning, inherited by social constructs, by society and your upbringing and your traditions. Okay, and so we might be very attached to that, and we might contract when I start saying that these are the things we got to unbind or let go of. We say, well, I want to pick and choose. This seems right, and I don't want to be scrupulous or without values and cling to that and choose this. And so we start to do this. But do you see what we're doing? We're using a conditioned self to make judgments and understanding what's right and what's wrong, what's for us, what's not. But we weren't in the light when we made these decisions. We were still under the condition and the program and the belief. It's like I drink the Kool-Aid, and then I go under the influence of the Kool-Aid, choosing through a subset of things that I want to get rid of and stick to, saying, no, but this one's important. I really need to eat the grass, though, because I'll die. Okay, I'm not a unicorn, but I got to eat the grass, because then if I start eating real food, like human food, I'm going to die. So I'll stick to the grass. But yeah, okay, maybe you don't need to, I don't know, keep me in a ranch at night. Maybe I don't fly. Maybe I'm not a Pegasus unicorn. It's like, yeah, but you're still eating grass. Do you understand what I'm saying here? Okay, so I'm going to rip the rug. Okay, well, I'm not going to rip anything. You're going to, with your light, shine the light. Don't eat grass. You're not a unicorn, and none of it is true. Okay, and then you can decide what you want. If you want to go live like a unicorn, you'll say, I know I'm not, but I'm going to go eat grass because it was fun and I enjoyed it. Good. Eat grass all day long. Go sleep in the stall all day long. Go pretend you're a Pegasus and fool whoever you want. No, I don't suggest you fool anybody. Always keep things honest, but it's your choice. If you want to go lie, cheat, steal, rob, that's up to you. Okay, I'm not here to tell you what's right, what's wrong. I don't know what's right, what's wrong. Only the divine knows what energy is going to be serving a purpose here, okay? And sometimes we have to be in negative shadow for a positive purpose. I can't determine what's negative and what's not. How far to the negativity is it? This is okay, but that's not. If I say, well, like being in a two-person relationship is fine, but once you add 4 people, now we've crossed the line. It's like, okay, and some people are like, well, no, it should be monogamous. Well, who's to say the blurred line? And someone's like, well, if you have 100 people, now, like, who's to say anything at all? I don't know. Okay, sure, we could have our beliefs, but at the end of the day, everyone's going to come with their sort of twisted, skew opinion, experience, and some people need 100 people. Why? Because they might not realize this sacredness of a union between 2 people. And until they have 100 people, they're completely in the dark, thinking they need a lot of attention and a lot of love, and they're seeking it outside themselves, and they have to go through 100 people. That's their journey. I cannot intervene and pull them into monogamy. I want to pull them into monogamy, and they're going to be sitting there thinking about the 100 people that they could bone. Okay, so let's just focus on our healing is about connecting to the light. The only way we can connect to the light is to see through the illusion and the mirage. The illusion and the mirage is the shadow, and this is what we're going to look at. What is your shadow? What's creating a lot of your suffering so that you can turn this into light? Okay, and the way we do this is through a lot of patience, love, compassion, and be the person that you might have never had in your life, to allow yourself to go through whatever that is. But you have to meet yourself where you're at. You can't project yourself to be something further along or what you wanted to be, and then painfully sort of think you're like that or have to be like that. And there's a big gap between you and reality. Okay, so reality is where you're at. I don't care if you're in a van down by the river and you think you're a unicorn. Okay, let's embrace this and let's get you out of the unicorn mindset, okay, towards realizing who you are. But we can't rush it. We have to give it space, and you have to be there for yourself, no matter how long it takes, with a safe place, saying it doesn't matter how long, I'm not going to rush you. You can be this, whatever this is that you are. I'm here, I hear you, and I'm going to be here until we get through this. And it will change, I assure you. Okay, it might still be there. You might still want to eat the grass, you know, you might still really feel that belief, but it will go away. It will be shown to you. The light will be revealed and you will feel so much better. Okay, now, of course, there's so much different shadows and traumas and devilly things here that we can go into. We're going to ask for whatever spirit wants to show. Maybe it's the biggest one. Maybe it's the one causing you the most pain. Maybe it's the more rooted one. Maybe it's one that you just missed. You know, I don't know. But we'll leave it up to spirit, okay? But it's not going to solve all of your problems and bring up every single shadow. I don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's going to say you have too many shadows here, like that you need to work on, and here's your focus. I don't know. Okay, but just sort of keep yourself open to whatever we see here, and you might connect with all three piles, which we'll pull shortly, at different times, and that's fine. So, and you might not connect with any of it. You might be okay being a unicorn because you're under the influence of the Kool-Aid. Okay, or maybe you were out of the Kool-Aid and you already know you're just doing what you're doing. But I assure you, before my realization and self-realization here, if somebody would have asked me if I was authentically me, I would have told them beyond a shadow of a doubt that I was. Okay, I was really attached to who I was. I didn't feel I was supposed to be anyone else. And I wasn't, obviously, because that was a point in my life where I was supposed to be what I was. But now on this side, I realize that a lot of what I was doing and engaged with and attached with and identified as was a lot of the programming and a lot of what I felt I had to be and should be. Okay, but if you would have asked me, I would have said, no one's forcing me. And I'm doing this because it makes me feel a certain way. It makes me feel valued, makes me feel secure, makes me feel good, beautiful, intelligent, well-to-do, accomplished, and successful, and protected, and safe. Who doesn't want to feel all those things? Of course we do. Of course. But my anxiety was so wound up, striving, trying to do this thing, hanging on, chasing life in a way, because I was never under the calmness of knowing I was perfectly fine just farting in the wind. Okay? If I want to fart in the wind, God damn it, I'm farting in the wind. You know, no one's going to tell me nothing. And so it became very evident when I'd meditate that I'm like sitting like this, you know, anxiety, keeping people out of my space, protecting my beautiful energy. And I was very anxious. And I was vibing in some really tense sort of energy. And that's where my dial was at. Max. Go. Do it. Get out of my way. Come on. This, that. Like very much so. And that was very strong. And so I felt, this is me. It's like, no time for bullshit. Get out of my way. I know what this is, black and white. Very clear. You know, no ripples in my river. It's very clear. Why would I confuse it? I don't want to be upside down. And then my whole world got flipped upside down. Okay, and it got flipped upside down, and sometimes I'd look back on it saying I'd rather be ignorant, because at least it was black and white, and I felt sort of somewhat safe. But during that flipping, I saw the contrast, and now it's like I could sit in peace, I could see my light, and I could fart in the wind, okay, if I wanted to, and be totally okay and fine, and not be chasing, and not be seeking, you know, but it was through a big process of not wanting to go down that path, of getting completely upside down, confused, tears, and a lot of confusion, and feeling alone, no matter how many people were there, always feeling alone, you know, because nobody can do it but you. And so even if you pull people in, they don't get it, they don't understand, there's always a space, isolated, confined, trying to figure it out, not knowing, you know, and then feeling bad, and then putting it down on yourself. Like, no one will understand. Where am I going to find this information? Who do I got to be? I need to heal. I want to feel better. I'm completely confused, you know, and then some days feeling perfectly fine, healed, strong, and then seeing through the old self and saying, ooh, I can now see the contrast, but I'm still weak. And then all of a sudden being pulled under again, can't breathe, completely confused, feeling even more regret. Why did I do this? Why am I here? I want to go back, you know, and then coming out again into another clear patch and saying, whoa, that was intense, but now it's done. Okay, I'm at peace. I can move forward, you know, and then 3 weeks after that, pulled under again, completely in the dark, feeling completely alone. Like I want to drive over a bridge and never come back, you know? And then that passes. And then I'm even more at peace. Okay. And so my point being that healing is a spiral process, but you're always sort of moving in an upwards direction. Okay. And just like a cone shape of a spiral. And I usually talk about this. The base is really big. And so when we go through dark night of the soul, it's like, whoa, we go around and we suffer for such a long time in the darkness. And then finally we get into the light and we're like, whoa, I could see. Okay, thank God, dark night of the soul's done. I'm seeing, I feel better, I feel good. Oh, what's happening? It's getting dark, it's full moon. I don't know, someone was being a jerk. And then we're in the dark and we start getting all panicky. But now the spirals are shorter as we slowly go through. Okay, and when we get to sort of more higher up here, the spiral is short, but we're still in the dark and then in the light, and the dark and the light, and the dark and the light, until we're crystallized at the top here where we're at. Again, there's no real top. You're going to constantly be finding things about self. But when you get through the big ones, the big shadowy nights, walking through the forest, figuring out all this stuff, it takes quite some time, and we keep getting kicked into that darkness, kicked into the darkness, kicked in, and we're just like, figure it out already. I thought I transmuted this. Heal, and we can't have that energy towards ourselves because that creates the suffering. And so we say, I'm here holding your hand through this darkness, and you're not alone. The divine is with you. Okay. Your soul family's with you. People who have been there understand, and they are there with you. I am there with you. Okay. If you need someone there with you, I understand that whatever you're experiencing is unique to you. So I'm never going to say, I went through what you did. I haven't. Okay, I went through what I went through, and I understand you're going through what you're going through, and it doesn't feel good. It hurts. It's confusing. It's disorientating. It's up and down. I see bipolar. You don't know if it's physical, chemical, emotional, spiritual attack, darkness. What is this? People are trying to attack me. It's out there. Is it in here? Am I toxic? What's going on? We don't know. And then we give up. We put our hands in the air and say, God, take the wheel. Okay. And so we connect to the divine. And so for me, I really connected with Jesus. I really connected to God, creator. Okay. And it was through my surrender and my grace of knowing that I was an extension of the creator, and that someone's been here, like Jesus, in order to communicate the exact same thing that we all are sort of going to experience at some point in some lifetime. Okay, and we can call it ascension, whatever it is, getting closer to God. And it comes for all of us at different points. We can't force ourselves to get there. You can't convince someone else to go down that path. Okay, and it is a very narrow path because not a lot of people wake up. Not a lot of people go through this dark night of the soul and all this stuff, but more people are waking up. More people are slowly starting to awaken to their true authenticity. Why is this? And because we're evolving as civilization, New Earth. We're no longer cavemen. We're no longer attacking people from bushes and caves and grunting and chasing animals down and living like, primitive years. We've evolved, although some of us might say, well, we haven't evolved that much. We're still attacking. And yes, we are. There's still war. Okay. But it's a very different sort of energy than we were even like 20 years ago, 40 years ago. And so we are becoming more spiritual beings, more light beings, connecting with divine. Okay. And so this is all about your ascension. This is all about collective consciousness through evolution, okay, whatever you want to call it. Fourth density, meaning we're going from more, lower chakra energies collectively to heart-based chakra, which is through compassion, through love, through treating our neighbor as herself, through oneness. Okay. And so we have to sort of do the work within. And so I like to thank you. Thank you for doing the work for me, for your neighbor, for the collective, and to get yourself out of suffering. Okay, to choose to do this is already the big, big step. It's a big step to say, I am committed to this healing journey. Even if you want to go backwards sometimes, because it's like, well, I didn't expect, all of this. And some people are really, really bunged up, So I don't know where you're at, but I do want to send a very beautiful thank you, and also set my intentions here that the divine help pull you through whatever dark time. And you can save this video, if you need to listen to this whole thing again and again and again until you understand that it's just a phase of darkness that will pass. I assure you it will pass, and it will get better, over time. And I can't promise you how long, it's been many, many, many years. For me, I feel like I've been in the darkness and in the light and in the darkness and the light. I'm really seasick, and it feels like it's just really tiring, exhausting, and I never felt like driving off a bridge ever in my life. I felt very confident and secure with myself until my life felt very upside down, and no one was making it upside down. There was nothing that I could say really made it negative in any way. It just came upon me like a perfect flood, and so we don't know what the divine has in store, but without that, I would have not have been doing this. And even this is nothing. This isn't even me. This is me now, but who knows? Maybe tomorrow I'll go, live in a van down by the river eating grass like a unicorn. I don't know. But point being, I know my freedom. I know my peace. And I know that I choose to help other people because I feel like I don't want you suffering, because I know what that's like, So anyway, let's take a look at the decks we'll be using for this reading, beautiful people. All right, so there's quite a bit. And we'll be using, well, there's some oracle, but this is the tarot we'll be using. And I've used this once before, and I put it away for like maybe a couple of years because I don't know, I didn't connect, but I'm still connecting with this right now, even though it might be a little tricky to use. Let's keep going. So for the Enneagram oracles, this one is the spiritual. Okay. We'll be using the spiritual one. We'll be using the general, and we'll also be using the love one, so we can get many different sort of aspects here. As you can see, there's a lot of cards, a lot of decks. And finally, the shadow worker. Okay, so we'll actually be using the shadow worker to pull your 3 cards. I'm going to pause it so I can pull these cards out. We'll pull the 3 options, and then we'll get into your reading. I love you guys so much, and I will see you guys shortly. All right, let's pull the 3 options for the 3 picks. Okay, gorgeous angels. We're looking at the collective, and we're looking at their shadow. What needs to be healed? Spirits. What needs to be healed? What can they transmute at this time in regards to their shadow, their trauma, or anything that they're needing to transmute into light? Right here, right now, Spirit. So we have option 1. If at any point you want to select your card, you can. Okay, this one is double-sided, by the way. Okay, but I'm just closing my eyes as I start to shuffle this again, and we'll pull option 2 and 3. Spirit for the collective. Okay. So, gorgeous angels. I will move this so it doesn't distract you. We have 1, 2, 3. I'm going to reveal these shortly, okay? But if you are pulled right now, you can select whichever one. Okay. If you are called to all 3, that's fine too. Okay. Don't feel like you're stuck to just one. All right. go listen to the intro if it's your first time here, or if you don't know what this reading's about, please and thank you. All right, option 1. Well, I should have put my glasses on. So this says, people please. People please. I would imagine this is people pleaser, but it just says people please. And I know you probably can't see. Let me see if I could get a good. People please. Okay. And we have shame. Do not use your intellect here to pick these, okay? It's nothing to do with what you think. And we have weak. Okay. Where should we put it? Okay. Do not use your intellect. Do not use these words. I have a million cards I'm going to pull, okay? And it's going to be the message in that each pile here. So really use your intuition, especially if you don't want to listen to 3 hours of me doodling if it's not relevant. Okay, so close your eyes, open your eyes, do ask the divine what you'll see, feel, or hear to determine whether the pile is for you. Only you can do this. If it's challenging, triggering, then that's between you and the divine. Maybe come back at another date, another time, go see another reader, go see another reading, whatever you like. All right, and I will see you at your pick. Hello, gorgeous angels. Pile number 1. You guys picked people please. People please. All right. This is going to be a long one. Okay. Lincoln Park had your kids, had your wife. I don't know. But this might take a bit. Okay. So I do suggest you go listen to the intro here because I never know what we're going to see or how long it's going to take. So get your tea and get your water and whatever else you need, okay? Because we're going to tap into the shadowy parts here and whatever spirit is wanting you to transmute into light, maybe something you're currently working on, maybe something you're completely unaware of, but whatever it is creating suffering for you according to these cards. And if you resonate, of course, I'm not projecting something for you. Okay, it's either going to resonate or not. This isn't something you use your mind for. It's not intellectually what you think. It's going to be what you're feeling intuitively, sort of might not be clicking or registering or creating triggers. How you'll know is if you feel contracting energies, makes you feel uncomfortable, it's most likely your pile. Okay, if we're indifferent, it doesn't do anything, then that's not our shadow. Okay, unless of course we're mega in denial and we just pretend it could be a thing as well. Okay, so we'll cut through there, don't you worry. So I'm going to be as graceful as I can be, but I'm very factual as well here. Okay, so if you're not prepared, that's fine. Come back at a later date. And also, I'm not everybody's reader. Okay, so it's not the be all end all, but I am just channeling energy and cards. Okay, so it might not mix with you and your style. That's fine. Okay, if you want to go elsewhere, go ahead. Nobody's making you come into my world over here. Okay, so let's take a look. We'll put all the cards down before I channel. You can go click straight away on the channeled message, but I do suggest you sit throughout the card layout because this will be the way to tap into your intuition. Otherwise, you're just listening to me yap a doodle about something that isn't even you. All right, so we have the crown chakra. Oh my goodness, the frequency of crown chakra, the violet flower of life, supports our spiritual connection to the universe and our ability to transmute negative energy into light. Wow, isn't that profound? That's what this whole reading is about, okay? Not to show how damaged, broken you are, but it's really all about, maybe we should move this. By the way, my daughter made this beautiful thing. I'm going to move it for this reading, just so we have a little bit more space here, okay? Let's take a look. So we have the world. Oh my goodness. Wow, we see the moon here in the background. And we have Mars and Chiron, number 40. Chiron is all about healing. Okay, 40 are the number 4. The number 4 is all about foundations. Okay, pragmatism, material reality, and problem solving. Okie dokie. Look at all this purple, you guys. You guys must be either psychic or really in tune with the divine here. Beautiful. And we have Mercury, number 20. Wow. So we do have some Aries energy, which could be just masculine. Okay, Scorpio energy. And we have some Virgo, Gemini with the Mercury. Wow. And then we have Jupiter here. Jupiter's a ruling planet for Sagittarius, Pisces. It says the granting of blessings from and good fortune. And then here it says learn or teach, be positive about, grow and expand. All right. And we have Moon with Soul, number 2. Wow. Okay, so Pisces energy is coming through with this moon for me. We have 2 2s. So 22 is diplomacy, healthy energetic boundaries. Okay, peacemaker. So I'm getting some Libra energy as well. And we have 9 sacred sexuality, accessing the unified field. Wow. Amazing. And then we have twin flame facilitator 4 expansive growth. Okay, now we don't have to stick to the label so much as the ascension process. When we're being reflected back to us or growth here, this is expansive growth. 4. And we had a 4 here. Some of you guys might be seeing 4. Some of you guys might be a life path 4. Okay, that's loyal, patience. And the negative, it could be stubborn or jealous. Okie dokie. Look at this opposition and confrontation after I just finished talking about stubborn. Butting heads here. 53 or the number 8. Opposition. Which could also be some form of jealousy as well. Confrontation, you know. Okay. And we have surrender to silence. In quiet meditation or contemplation, let go and enter the stillness within. Silence can heal and replenish you. Wow. Are people ruining your peace? Moon could be all about our emotions. It could be all about our intuition. Okay, very feminine energy. And with all the 4s is very masculine. And we have twin. So you can have the masculine and the feminine from within. Okay, we carry both masculine and feminine, which I think this pile would understand because I'm feeling a very spiritually ascended pile here. Okay, and then Mercury is all about communications. And so that's different than Moon. Intuition, feels, and then Mercury and Mars is sort of outward. Wow, okay, I'm feeling like a balancing energy here. So we have the uncreated with 43. That could be an age or an important number. The number 7. Okay, 7 is all about faith, wisdom, reflection, understanding. It's also about spirituality and the intellect, personal growth, which we have expansive growth. Okay, it's also about solitude and metaphysics. Okay, so interesting. Here we have rotation. So this could talk about repetitive patterns. Okay. Spiders give me a Scorpio energy. Number 69 here. Okay. We have control. By letting go of the illusion of control, we open ourselves to genuine freedom, domination, manipulation, and power. People please. This isn't people pleaser, you guys. This is people please. Yeah, like people please. Okay, I'm feeling very strong energy here, you guys. Okay, let's just keep going. Child, nature, light attributes, friendships with animals, communication with nature spirits, shadow attributes, tendency to abuse animals, people, and the environment. Okay, this little girl's holding this beautiful little bunny. Remember, we don't take words literally here. It's going to be what I channel the energy as, okay? Sometimes it has absolutely nothing to do with words, only picture. Sometimes the word stands out. And sometimes it's everything to do with the sentence. Okay, I don't know which it is until we go and we channel. So we have the ring. Number 57. Yes, 57. Okay, which is Pisces energy. The ring. Look at this circle. And then we have this like slot looking like thing. Rotation. Cyclical. The ring could certainly be talking about cyclical as well. It's also about commitments. Okay. Versatility. The sun in Gemini here. Yeah. So number 3 is Empress energy. Have some Taurus Libra energy. Flexibility. I just said versatility. Okay. Well, and we have, and I'm seeing some Aquarius as well. Compulsion ideal, number 4, another 4, you guys, ego level, uniqueness, feeling different, authenticity, sensitivity, singularity, eccentricity, taste for aesthetics. Number 4, type 4, the individualist, emotional center between lack and abundance. Okie dokie. And here we have 71, relationship trap, stress level, passion, intense fascination, ardent affectivity, impetuosity, exultation, get carried away, irresistible attraction. Type 8, the challenger, instinctive center between strength and weakness. Number 8. Okay. Wowzers. Pile number 1. I'm going to tap into this in case some other information comes through, but it's already coming through very strong here. What do I want to use? I'll use this one. Yeah, so you can skip ahead, okay? Okay, beautiful people. I was expecting a whole bunch of trauma. This feels like a beautiful energy. I got to tell you, but it's uncomfortable when you're in this energy. Okay. What I really see here is someone who is quite ascended. Okay. When it comes to if this is what Spirit's just showing you, or maybe this is what's the bone in your contention right now, and this is why it's coming out. Only you'll know. Okay. But if this is the worst of it, then I'd say you're doing really, really, really good, but who cares what I think? But really, like at the end of the day, okay, what is this showing me? Someone who's really in tune spiritually. You really are really connected, okay, completely. You're not out to lunch. You're, I would say, ascended, if that's a thing we want to call, okay, or at least getting rid of the smoke screen. That's not you. But there's still one part here that's really frustrating, okay? And so we're first needing to acknowledge we have it. And then we're going to love it. And then we're going to make space for it. And then we're going to see a better way through it. Okay? Because I do feel like a lot of you guys might not see it. Okay, not a lot, but some might not see it for sure. And I'll get into what the it is right away. Okay? And some of you guys might see it and be fighting why you need to be this way or why it makes sense. Okay? And like Dr. Phil says, do you want to be right or do you want to be happy? Because there's another way. Okay? And so we got to be at least willing to understand there's a better way, an untapped field here, okay? That's more cohesive, that taps into more of a natural oneness sort of state that isn't so intensely hanging on to this passionate belief that it has to be this way or understood or felt this way, because you feel it very strongly, passionately. And it could be because there's been some sort of trigger experience in the past or traumatic experience in the past that's creating this trigger now. I don't know, because we're not getting so far into where it happened, how it happened, and all that. We don't need to know any of that stuff. In fact, if you know when it did or why it's there, that's great, but you don't need to know. All you need to do is work with the energy and the realization of this thing so that you can, and when I say love it, it's like love it enough to know that it's there and that it's a part of you, and you're doing this to defend yourself, to protect yourself, because you love yourself. That's great. That's great. You love yourself enough to have this conviction and this passion and this belief. Okay. And it just comes about. And what is this thing? I feel, okay, it's saying control, because it does boil it down to control. Okay. But I really feel like this has to do with people, other people. Okay. It's like people please. I feel like people might not really fully understand you or spiritual concepts or in-depth sort of higher intellectual concepts here if you want. Okay, and so you might be sort of having to feel like other people just don't get it, and you might feel irritated and challenged when it comes to engagement with other people, period. It's getting in your way, and I feel you're passionate about it, and you might try to prove yourself through words and having to convince, and like, it's frustrating, you know? And it's like, but I feel it so passionately. And it's like, I do, even if you feel for these people, I say these people, whatever. It could be any relationship, okay? Intimate relationships, parents, family, friends, co-workers, whatever. But I feel this is your issue. Okay, I'm going to call it an issue because it's really stemmed from you. You're the one creating this conflict. You really are. You're not smarter than anyone else, by the way. Okay, you're not. You're not smarter. And your experiences are there, but everyone else's are equally as valid, and none are higher than others. Everyone has unique experiences to themselves. Okay, and once we understand this concept that we're just a little grain of sand, and so we could infuse that sand and say, yeah, but I have all of this knowledge, all of this experience, all this understanding. I've done all this work on myself, and feed that sand with all of it. And guess what? The sand beside you has equally as much as you do of God energy. Okay, it's different. It's just different. That's all. And so there's differences in people, and people are going to be where they're at. And we get frustrated because we either want to pull them up, or we want to prove our point, or we want to convince them, or we just get irritated with these people. It's like, why don't you see the light? This is the way. This is clear to me that this is right, or this is understood. And this other way is in the dark, or is creating conflict, or is making you suffer, or is not. And it's like, no, it's not your job to convince anyone out of the darkness. Okay, go listen to the intro. If they want to wander in the darkness, that is what they're supposed to do. It's equally as valid. So there's another field over here. Okay, another field. Now, for some of you guys, it was coming through sexually, that you get sort of, there is some form of like jealousy or control here. So this could be only showing its rearing its ugly head when you're intimately involved with a partner here. Jealous. Okay, I could relate with this one. And this could be because we don't understand from a perspective where there could be somebody who is on a different experience of what it means to connect either sexually, emotionally, with whatever. And we might really have a very strong opinion of what it means to be sacred, special, unique, okay, to be sort of in this official position, okay, because it should be a man and a woman, and they should be sacred, and it should be holy between two, and anything outside of this is wrong, okay, or doesn't feel right. And it's like, okay, you're right for you, okay, no matter how much work sort of you've done. I'm not going to say change this, because I actually agree with you with this, okay, but what I am telling you is that other people don't have to buy into that whole thing at all. They are wherever they're at. If they want to not feel like being with one partner, man and woman, is for them, that's good. That's okay. They have to go through that and create a world and live that world, however many lifetimes they need to do this, in order for them to see and choose what they want, because everyone has a choice. Okay, and what this will do is, once you sort of work with that energy, because this creates some uncomfortable energy. It creates resistance. It creates an energy off of you that's felt. Okay. And it's not allowing everything else outside of that to be introduced into your field, so that we can't grow and expand and have a broader sort of manifestation field of who can come in and what we can work with and what we can see. This does not mean that our value now all of a sudden changes to accepting people who are not in line with that. No, this is solely talking about manifestation field. If we're very narrow and we're really fixated on this sort of thing, looking out for it, and this is like, has a lot of weight. It's like a very narrow scope of how we're engaged. Our energy is already sort of confined to some sort of engagement in some sort of way in our dialogue, and it creates this unnecessary environment, period. Okay, now, when we work with this thing, our own energy, through acceptance and observation, we're not trying to change it, we're not trying to force it to be anything but what it is. But we need to recognize this, okay? Because what's happening here, I feel, is repeat patterns, or maybe finding people who don't want to commit, or finding whatever we're finding, but it's a pattern here. And it could be a generational pattern or whatever that we're needing to end, so that we could be reborn freer as someone who isn't as triggered by someone else's decisions or lifestyle. It doesn't trigger me. I don't need to control this person. I don't need to be irritated and start to have to prove my point and be like, people, please, No, it doesn't matter. The only reason we would have this sort of thing is because we want to control, we want to control because it feels out of control, that someone else could sort of put us in a compromising position. I don't want to be compromised. I don't want to be blah, blah, blah. It's like, you won't be. You won't be. But you got to trust. Okay. And the only way to sort of trust is to let go of this sort of intense thing that we have. And so we could have definitely been cheated on. Okay. For some of you guys. And so now, because we experience this, and we might not even see it, we're on a first date, and our dialogue already is sort of intense here, even if we're not saying words about it. It's your energy and your subconscious, and it's who you're bringing in. That's where it starts. Okay, this isn't about you saying blah, 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 but I never accuse them and I don't put that off. It's like you're already putting it off because your subconscious is carrying this thing that you were cheated on. Or like I said, some of you guys, generational, whatever it is, it's something here. It's a pattern that needs to be broken. And the way we break it is we recognize it, observe it, don't judge it, and diffuse it, because it's heavily charged in your subconscious. I know that this is the way that it is. And like I said, for some of you guys, it might not be sexual, okay? But it's just like your understanding of how people should engage and what it should be. And it's like, no, that's just your understanding. Okay, that's an illusion. Your beliefs, your values, and your understandings are illusions, just like the unicorn that I mentioned in my intro. Okay, that might be how you're navigating in the world, but what Spirit is asking you to do, if you're this ascended already, or at least trying to undo this thing, is know that that belief too is just an illusion. You're choosing to believe that is right, and it's not right. There is no right, there is no wrong. And so the stronger we fight to keep that alive, that belief, the more we suffer, because we're attached to that. Okay, so we got to know that we're attached to it and why it is we're attached to it. And Spirit really wants you to know that there's a world outside of that that feels a lot better, that isn't as intense, and we could still connect, and we could still get what we want, and we could still engage and be valued and treated with respect, and still respect ourselves, and still experience sacred relationships or friendships or people who don't irritate the shit out of us. We don't got to prove it through words. We don't got to go and challenge everyone. We don't got to be a keyboard warrior. We don't got to prove a point. Okay, so this is all about the growth you can have outside of that way of engagement in relationship. Okay, and closing out that cycle, because you keep bringing in the same sort of people. And so don't get fixated. You got to be a little flexible. Now, you don't got to do anything, but this is if you want to heal in regards to finding peace and not being experiencing suffering and irritation and annoyance and people coming at you. And it's like, why are people always sort of confrontational, or why are they always creating this sort of thing? And Spirit's saying, no, it's not them. They're just projecting their own sort of subconscious energies. So they're going to be annoying or confrontational or play boys, play girls, or whatever they're doing here. Okay. And so I feel like there is this passion that you have to like convert people over to your side of thought, you know, or like convert people over here, or like you want to bond with people so strongly here over this belief or this thing. And it's like, no, let go of it. And then the right people are going to come in without you having to seek them out or like do through feel, you know. It's like, oh, is this person aligned with my value? I got to feel this out and then do that. And then no, once you unbind all of this and just be, then the right person will be pulled towards you, because right now in your subconscious, what you're carrying is that in which you don't want. Okay. And so there is a need to sort of, when we engage, see people, how they're sort of coming through, and accept it. Accept it. That's it. That doesn't mean that you're going to be believing what they're telling you is you, or believing that what they tell you is true. It's just accepting that that's where they're at without having to prove yourself or change them, you know. And I think what we get frustrated with is we get pulled into, and we could be in a connection currently, which is why this is coming up, in which we feel pulled sexually, passion, pulled. And now it's like, uh-oh, I have all of these beliefs and I'm getting frustrated with this person because they have another belief. It's like, how can I be in this dynamic? I don't want to be here. I feel they want to date around and I want to be official. And now we're all upside down in our head, fighting ourselves. Boop, boop, boop. It's like, okay, first of all, you're not right and they're not right. You're not wrong and they're not wrong. So what do? The more we focus on trying to convince them or change them or prove or point, and the more intense we feel this way that we need to change the situation, the more we're going to keep this alive. So we need to diffuse and undo this belief, this attachment to control, and that we think this is, right, or why we feel this way. And I might say, I can't help it. I just feel this way. And I get it. You feel this way because you have a belief. You're attached. You identify as this being your core belief. We got to understand and get to the bottom of why you believe it to be what it is. Because maybe in the past, like I said, there was an experience here. Whether you know of it or not, if you're cheated on, or like I said, some of you guys, it's through generational trauma. And we're repeating a pattern here. And so we're really hung up with that idea and that belief. This is what's right. Who says? Okay, so this requires no one else but yourself. Doing this is going to free you from suffering from this. It's really looking at your belief in regards to how you identify with your values and your understanding and what you're saying is right and wrong, and you're making judgments and you're carrying that understanding. This is what's creating your suffering and conflict with other people. There's a different version of you that could be born, and one that's more flexible, one that's more peaceful, one that's more non-opinionated. So when you feel it coming on, you're already in your mind making the judgment, or like seeing someone act in a certain way or say something. You're already sort of putting your lens. And Spirit's saying, don't put a lens on it at all. Don't. You don't need to. You don't have to interpret everything and everyone that's coming at you. Allow them to be how they are. That is a something that's never been shown to you. Okay, even if you saw this person a million times, every time that they come forward, it's a new version of them. And I use the example sometimes of birds, it's like when I say bird, automatically you come up with the bird in your mind. You're like, hey, bird, next, like these words. This is why energy and words don't go. Because when I say bird, if I say apple, okay, you like hold that image of what it is. But if I start to describe the bird that I was seeing, you might have had like, I don't know, a brown bird that's like just regular bird out your window. And I'm like talking about an eagle. with his wings spread and his white head and his yellow beak and his talons. And it's like, wow, that's not the bird I was imagining. No, shit. Or I could talk about this same bird and now he's perched and his wings are closed and he's sitting on a thing and he's like eating a worm. And now you have a different image of this bird. So the same bird or a different bird, but a bird's a bird's a bird when I say it. And so this is kind of how you're engaging with this person. And this person is going to manifest in front of you different every time. It's uncreated. You've never seen this person before. So don't slap on your judgment. Don't slap on your idea of what you think that they are. I heard bird. I see the same person. No, they're not the same person. Stop it. Stop labeling this experience with something that you've already carried from the past. Let it be what it is and see it objectively without judgment so that you can see it with real eyes for the first time. Okay, this is being flexible to seeing actual people as they are, not as you want them to be or through the lens of trauma. All right, so let's take a look at the tarot to see what more we can see about this, because I do feel you feel out of control and pulled here by someone else and you don't like it. And because now it's like, wow, I can't get out of this sort of uncomfortable energy, or we keep repeating the same pattern with someone, or patterns within dating, or patterns when it comes to, a certain sort of engagement with relationship, and it's creating suffering for us. So let's see, Spirit, so what more do we need for pile 1 here in regards to this shadow? 13, Phoenix of the White Fire, rebirth. So what did we say? You could be reborn here. This is the Death card, Scorpio. This is all about transformation, okay? Which is so fascinating because this is like the transmutation of energy here and being reborn, ascending like this phoenix. But we have to burn away the thoughts, the identities, the thing that sort of attaches to that value and that belief that we think is right. And we're really attached to it. And so now we have the veil of that, the lens of what we think is right. And then it creates conflict with people that are actually coming in a different reality. We have to see them as sort of neutral beings here coming towards us without, okay, well, this person now proved to me that they're this and that. It's like, no, you're still putting your lens. Okay, so transformation, death, release. And maybe we do have to release a certain person here, I feel like we really want to be seen and understood and some form of like officialness here and something like this, and it's like, no, get off the high horse. You're not none of that. You're never going to find it in that energy that I want this or it needs to be that. It's like, no, just first work on unbinding this and then you'll get what you want. It will come to you. There's no need to force anyone, chase anyone, and coerce and convince and this is right and that's wrong. No. That's all shadow stuff, and that's all trying to control an upper hand, change a scenario. Okay, that needs to be burnt away. The self here needs to get worked on in order for there to be a change. That's it. Because, like I said, we'll keep finding the same treatment, same situation, same annoying people everywhere we go. Because it's us mirroring this back out into the world, that I am like this. And then we get even stronger, it's like, no, now I really know what I want. It's like, not like that person and not like that and not like that and not like that. You're saying a bunch of nots and you're projecting and guess what you get? Exactly what it was that you don't want. So there's no not and push away and be even more black and white and clear. It's like, no, let go of all that. Okay, this doesn't mean, again, that you got to put up with these people. And it's like, no, just accept everything. No, it's not like this. It's about being neutral, seeing people as they come in and letting go of this trauma that's got you all fired up about it. Okay, let's take a looky-loo at what this is about. 73 Rainforest, 10 of Earth Guardians. So this is 10 Pentacles. This is this. Okay, this is building a long-term thing, a legacy. So something about family, something about commitment. We see 2 butterflies. Okay, are we trying to transform a situation here? Are we both transforming? So maybe you have a situation in which you want to be seen and you want it to be in one sort of energy that you know of, and you're dealing with someone here who's in another energy. This can be transformed. And only through your rebirth, only through your transmutation of burning what's unhealthy within your subconscious. Right now, you have a need for control. And you're getting irritated with this other person or this family member, okay? So nothing wrong with wanting to build something, but we can't get focused on chasing and coercing and convincing of how to build this. This build comes and it builds naturally. It's not something that needs to be forced. Okay, let's keep going. And look at her flowers around her head, which is always highlighting this crown chakra. Okay, very spiritual, very in tune with the divine here with all this beautiful purple as well. Let's see, why is this Phoenix here? We have 71 with cave, 8 of Earth Guardians, so more pentacle energy. So this is doing the work. Okay, Pentacles, you might be an Earth sign. We also have Scorpio, like I said. And here we have 29, negative. Sorry, oh my goodness, negative. Navigate from the heart, 8 of light codes. So the light codes is the wands, 8 of wands. Yeah, 8 wands. Okay, so we see the beautiful heart. Now, when we navigate from the heart, I'm really getting this. Okay, child nature. And the fact that I said negative, I feel like there is negative energy. Now, I'm not saying it's bad. Okay, there's negative and positive polarity and energy. It has to be on a spectrum, positive and negative. It works everything on a scale. If we're on the negative end and we attract either more of the same, okay, or when we attract the positive, we're repelling it because we're really pushing away with the energy, that in which is on the opposite side. Okay, and so we feed negative with negative. And when the positive is kind of coming in, like polarity, it's like magnets. You know how magnets, when you put them together and they sort of like can't sort of come in, then they repel. But when we're in the heart space, okay, when we see through the illusion with this dragonfly, the illusion of what's actually not true, the beliefs, the identifications, and the attachments and the stories, then we're sort of coming from a place of compassion and love. And then we neutralize and we depolarize the situation. And so there's a situation here that I think you want it to be neutral, or at least you want it to get to this. And in order to get to this sort of more official build, we have to be in a loving heart space and a neutral energy. And that's how we navigate from love in the heart space. Okay, right now I think you're navigating from passion and trying to prove a point, and that's all like you're fighting your illusion. You want someone to believe that you're a unicorn right now. You're not, and they're not going to believe it or buy it, no matter how much you think you are and how much you think it's right. It's not that this is wrong, that you want to build this or get commitment. It's that you are coming from the angle that you're a unicorn. That's the issue here. No one's going to want to work with you if you're in denial or if you're in the illusion. Okay, now I use strong words, but it's like if you're trying to get control, if you're opposition, if you're being like, people, please, this is the way it is. Okay, so you're pushing away what you want. So here we have 16, equalizing power, the tower. So yeah, tower energy. So interesting because this is 8 wands. And this is all about communication. And look at this, Mercury, communication. There's something in regards to how you talk that is creating tension and conflict. It's not coming from a place of objectively observing so that we can be flexible. I think you're reactionary, and it's really coming from a past experience of pain. I experienced someone cheating on me. Now, therefore, I'm like really, speaking it truthfully and honestly. It's like, no, I see it. It's clear. It's what? It's like, no, you don't see it. You had an experience in the past that has nothing to do with the now. It's uncreated. The now is uncreated. There's nothing now. There's no trauma now. There's no one trying to threaten you now. There's nothing now except for the now that's been uncreated. So why are we already trying to paint it like it's something else? It hasn't existed. We don't know what it is because we haven't seen. We're not objectively watching this moment unfold as it does. And so you could still protect yourself if you need to, but it comes from the heart, because the heart will know. It's not defensive. It's not full of shadow. The heart is unbiased. And so if we feel like something's off, our body will tell us. It's not coming from the subconscious. It's not coming from the pain body. Okay? And so we got to trust that. But if we're too clouded with thoughts in our mind and experiences, that's what's reacting. That's what's talking. That's what's creating conflict and argument and pushing people out and projecting. It's all experience in the past. We have to see through ourselves and let go of that and let the moment just unfold. Let this person sort of be who they are, doing what they're doing in a way that allows us to see without the veil, from the perspective of making clear decisions, what feels good and not. Because trust me, if this person is doing something that doesn't feel good, once you deal with yourself, you're not passionately still called into the drama needing to prove yourself. You could see them and say, no, my heart, my body is telling me that this is not for me. It's not aligned and I'm not feeding it. And like I said, when we're not triggered, we can let situations go easily. We're not battling ourselves. Okay, this almost feels like we're battling ourselves and we really want to do this, but we're really called to do that. And it's like, oh, I get frustrated. It's like, you don't have to. The only reason you got to do this is because you're learning this lesson. So you're going to be passionately magnetized towards the thing you don't like. And those people keep coming towards you until you undo this. And then it's like I say, if we're not triggered and we're indifferent, that means we healed it. It's like, okay, that person does that. Great. Not for me. Next. Doesn't bother me. Doesn't pull me. Doesn't make me want to go sleep with them and then be angry about it or try to convince them. Okay. That's an analogy example. Okay. So we have strength. Yeah. Look at this. Passion, strength. So you have this beautiful heart about you. But I really feel you're called to situations, pulled to situations. And then it's like, you're trying to like change the situations. It's like, no, why do I feel so pulled to people who are annoying or who are cheaters or who are like this or who are confrontational or who it's like you are because you're learning this lesson. Spirit is asking for this to transform within you. And so it'll keep sort of coming in front of you. These types of people will keep showing up. This lesson will be intense until you transmute this pain or this way that you're engaged. You got to sit with your pain. Okay. So, and this is to be graceful, knowing when to move forward and when to be held back and have patience here with ourselves. Okay. We ride the lion with grace so that we can navigate situations. I feel like we're really like confrontational and we're like, can't hold back. And then we get into arguments and then we're like, all frustrated. And it's like, wanting to hold ourselves back. And it's like, no, just peace, look, surrender to silence, observe. But it's difficult to do right from the start. And so like any shadow work at first, it's like really intense. And it's like, don't fight yourself and resist. Just observe yourself arguing. Observe yourself and how you feel about it. Okay, like you got to do the observation, and it will slowly be like breaking a habit. Okay, like when you switch, let's say for example, in the kitchen, you put your garbage somewhere else. The first, I don't know, however many times they say 21 days to break the habit. First few times you keep going to the same spot to throw out the garbage, same spot, but then it's like, okay, and then after a while it's like, man, yeah, I was about to go there. And you stop yourself and then it's like, whoa, I know the garbage is over there. Yeah, I'm going to do it different this time. This is exactly what this is. Okay, but you don't know until you first of all observe it and then let yourself keep walking to the empty spot of the garbage. Because every time you do this, it's like, you're like, okay, it's playing out. But if I resist and I'm like, no, I'm not going to throw anything in the garbage because then I'm piled up with trash. It's like, that doesn't work either. So keep going, keep walking to the garbage that's you think is there, with forgiveness and grace. Don't resist and hold back. It's like, okay, observe. I'm not saying argue with people or whatever. Just observe. Don't fight yourself. Don't resist the communication. If that's how it comes out, don't beat yourself up. Reflect upon it afterwards. Why did I say that? Well, what came out for me, not why did he do that or she say that, or no, not about them at all. Okay, I said this, I said that. How do I feel? Don't beat yourself up. And then next time. And slowly we start to sort of get in front of that. Okay, then we have better control. Then we sort of depolarize the situation and we're not covered in garbage and we're also not resisting. We're allowing ourselves the space to heal, to get over this thing, to go towards the garbage in the new spot now. And what's the new spot? The new spot is observing, being still, peaceful in a way here that allows people to be themselves and show us who they are without us being pulled and saying, no, I see through that. That doesn't speak good to my heart. And this sounds like something that I can't build, or something that's, maybe I have passion. Maybe it sounds like something, but I'm not pulled towards shenanigans. I'm not pulled towards this scenario, and you see it. And now you've transmuted that pain and that shadow, but you have to deconstruct this belief and this way of being here. Okay. So number 1, transformation through illumination, the magician. So more communication. Okay, this is the magician, Virgo, Gemini energy. Right now, there's a big challenge around how you talk to people. And I feel like there's a lot of passion. There's a lot of being held back about what we are feeling or saying, our beliefs and all that I just talked about. Okay, so allow yourself to observe how you engage so that this can shift, and know that every moment and every person that you are engaged with has not been born in the moment, in the current moment, as anything at all, because the uncreated, it keeps unfolding in front of you constantly. The uncreated, this moment is new. There's nothing like it that's ever existed, ever. The past has nothing to do with this moment, no matter how much we think it does. Okay, that's the misconception. That's the belief that keeps this going. So we might not believe it fully at first. And so we got to sit with that energy and undo this, transmute this energy as long as it takes, so that, again, we depolarize this energy, because right now we're heavily charged in this, creating all sorts of arguments and passion about it and beliefs about it and all of this stuff. That's the suffering. That's the need for control. That's bringing towards us more of these people. Please, let's end this cycle. I don't got to keep repeating this, because I feel we're repeating patterns with the same person, or repeating patterns with the same types of people. Okay? Do not judge yourself. This is absolutely fine. Something's happened here that's made you believe something here and made you want to fight for something. And what are you fighting for? You're defending something that makes you feel uncomfortable. Okay? But that has to do with you, not anybody else. Nobody wants to hurt you. Okay? All they're doing is just projecting their own sort of traumas. That has everything to do with them, nothing to do with you at all. Beautiful angel. And once you connect to the heart and see through their traumas and their illusions, they're just projections, and see through your own, and then you're in a place of compassion. You can have compassion for them and say, oh, this person, I know, because I've been there. I've been also in the shadows. I've been also fighting myself. I also was hurt. I also had, whatever beliefs. And all they're doing is sort of fighting through their own beliefs and illusions and triggers. And so we have compassion for that. We're no longer pulled and have to convince them and argue and feel challenged and unseen. And it's like, no, if they don't see you, it's their shadow that's being ignited. And that's okay. Okay. It's okay as long as, now you can see clearly and you're awake to the fact you can make conscious choices and pull yourself out of situations nicely without getting triggered and pulled and sucked into people's drama and having to prove yourself, because I feel like you want to be seen in a certain way and accepted and prove your point. And I feel the more they don't see you, the more you try to, do this thing. It's like, no, you don't need to chase. You don't need to coerce. And then you start to manifest what it is you want, because you've released the trauma, you've healed the thing, you've transmuted that into light, and now you're this beacon of light that's healed and crystallized in a way here that's not pulled through shadow and triggers and traumas. And guess what comes in? Exactly what it was that you wanted to build here, okay? But you gotta start with yourself. So, beautiful angel, this is your reading. If you're drawn to another pile, I will see you there. I love you very much, and I will see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Hello, pile number 2. You guys picked the card of shame. So, like I said, don't get hung up on words. We're going to look at the trauma, shadow, whatever it is here that's getting in the way of your healing. Okay, so it could be the biggest thing, or whatever it is Spirit wants to show you that might be creating the most suffering at this time. So grab your tea, your water, your whatever you need here, because this might go for a bit, okay? And if it's triggering you, it's most likely your pile. Okay, I'm not trying to trigger you, but if it doesn't mean anything, then I don't know, we'll see. Like I say, are we in denial, or or we just sort of really understand this and it's not us. Okay, so let's see what this is about. So you guys can skip ahead to the channel message if you want, but the best way to tap into your intuition is to sit through this card layout, okay, to know for sure we're at the right pile. So we have 16 with Cancer, I feel. Okay, so 16 is Tower energy. Cancer is all about our feelings, family energy coming through here. So it could certainly be something inherited through family. So we might not even know. It could be genetic for all we know, okay? So let's see. Cancer, I feel. All right. Then we have the tapir. So I do want to see, because I do like reading from this book always, although this book's not alphabetized and it's annoying as F. The tapir is kind of near the end. It's kind of over here-ish. Action in service to others, charity and selflessness. In dreams, the tapir is often linked to gentleness and the need to be kind and compassionate towards other people. This is despite its close genetic ties to the rhino, a rather tough animal. The natural disposition of this unique creature is rather shy, although they do live in small social units. Oh my goodness, family, especially during their mating years. The appearance of the tapir card asks us to consider acts of service as a love language and the practical steps we can take to show up for others. Depending on your personality, you may or may not already embody acts of service as a love language. These tangible displays of love don't always match the conventional idea of romance, but in some ways they may mean more. Part of being a human being is operating within a community and showing up for others in their time of need. Our social selves thrive only when we have a solid support system in place. No matter how introverted or private we may be, if you pull the tapir card, it's your turn to show up for those you care about and act in service to your love for them. Maybe someone needs a favor, or the person you live with could use your help accomplishing a task. When we are physically present for those we care about, the impact of your actions stays with them much longer than anything else does. Offer your helping hands. Wow. Okay. So that's the opposite of this. Feeling is just sitting there kind of taking it in. And this is acts of service and acting upon our feelings. Okay. And we have shame here. Let's see. Universal love, 44. Wow. 44 is a master number. Okay. Integrity is a foundation, treating the earth as home, and a temple and manifestation and leadership. So a leadership for me would be taking action on something, which we were saying acts of service. Okay. Maybe the confidence to take action on how we feel. Maybe we're blocked here by shame. Let's see. The frequency of universal love activates the connection we feel to each other, to our planet, and to the whole of existence itself. So this universal energy of collectiveness, collective, is giving me this family again, community, other people, relationship. Okay. It goes beyond the self here. So we have Moon and Venus. Look at this. So 12 is Hangman, a change of perspective. Moon is this feel, okay, or feelings, and the feminine energy here. And Venus is also giving me feminine energy. We got Taurus, Libra energy, but this is about maybe expressing love. Okay, so let's see. What is this about? We have Venus and Chiron. Yeah, look. And so this Venus could certainly be talking about, like, maybe very concerned with the appearance of how we might be perceived, image, this sort of thing. But it's butted up against this shame. So look at another master number, 33, which is reproduction, creativity, humor, Christ consciousness, joy, and harmony. Chiron is the planet of healing. So we have Taurus, Libra energy. I'm being called. I didn't do this in the other, but I do want also to read these so that we can paint the picture before we start to channel. What is this? 12 Moon. So conjunct sextile trine. It says in primitive state, you smother other people with your relentlessness, need to express affection. Adaptive. Your exceptional emotional grace provides a safe space where others can know how much they are loved. Evolving. People look up to you as a paragon of beauty and compassion. You personify vulnerability and balance. Okay, let's see in conjunct opposition square. Primitive. You feel trapped in relationships. You often mistreat the people you love when you feel irritated by them. Adaptive. You recognize the creative tension between what you need and what you love and address it thoughtfully. Evolving. You create beauty and harmony from the tempest of your emotions. Love becomes a way for you to exercise your emotional creativity. I'm feeling a little bit of this, you guys. You feel trapped in relationships when you often mistreat people you love, when you feel irritated by them, potentially. We'll see. Okay, let's see this Venus Chiron energy. Conjunct sextile trine. Primitive. You wound people with your bitterness and resentments about love gone wrong. Adaptive. With a soft, welcoming heart, you heal people who have suffered great heartbreak. Evolving. Your resilience and transparency about your heartbreaks inspire others to mend their hearts through connection. In conjunct opposition square. Primitive. Because you hurt others. Adaptive. Because you hurt, you show others great mercy and compassion. Evolving. Your heartbreak has led you to an outpouring of love for humanity. Okie dokie. Remember, this could definitely be energy here that's around you. Okay, if you're dealing with someone in a situation, in a relationship, I could be tapping into this energy, okay? Or it could be yours. Take it or leave it. So we have the house, the 12th house here. And the 12th house is all about, it's like the catch-all house, okay? It's the house of the subconscious, endings, healings, closure, spirituality, solitude, karma. It's what's hidden, limiting beliefs. So your faith, hidden tendencies, large institutions, or overwhelming events. Seeking oneness with all there is, philanthropy, and keep your involvement hidden. Interesting. Now, we have 1111, mission accomplished, welcome home. Wow, with the swan. And look at the swans all crowned, empowered. Swans to me talk about love, romantic love, but there's only one swan here. Okay, and we have Uranus with change, 25, or the number 7. Okay, so Uranus is a ruling planet for Aquarius. And then it says, surrender your need to always be right. Give others the gift of letting them be right. Be yielding, not rigid. This will help resolve conflicts and improve your relationships. Okay. And then we have 59, the red and white rose. Beautiful. So this is about our own autonomy. Okay. Beautiful. Oh my goodness, you guys, look at this shadow card. We got shame again. Embrace your flaws. Looks like it says flows. Embrace your flaws. They are a part of your unique story. Humiliation, disgrace, and I can't read that word because these words are really hard. Embarrassment, I think it says. Okay. Saboteur, light attributes, highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring into your life. Shadow attributes, induces self-destructive behavior or the desire to undermine others. Okay. And we have the comic 26, or the number 8. All right. And then we have romance, number 2. Interesting, because I was getting that with the swan here. So with Venus is the planet of love and universal love. Okay, here we have Venus. Yeah, Venus and Taurus. So lots of Venus running through your energy here. And like I said, Venus is a ruling planet for Taurus and Libra. Okay, Libra is the planet of relationships and balance. And I feel like, well, 2 here, balance, but I'm really feeling this like about love and relationships pulling through your energy a lot. Okay, so frustration, 79. and number 7 and 1 here. Lesson giver, restriction, nitpick, critical, impatience, and resentment. Type 7, the enthusiast thinking center between pleasure and pain. And here we have 46. Sin, ego level, anger, aggressiveness, bitterness, fury, rage, irritation, bad mood. Number 1. Type 1, the perfectionist instinctive center between control and letting go. Look at her face. Okay. I'm going to channel this. Okay. You can skip ahead. Okay, pile number 2, this could be your energy, someone you're dealing with. Okay, sometimes I tap into energies around you. So if it's not you, it's not you. Okay, but it definitely could be you. If this triggers you, it's most likely your pile here, okay? This is a very clear energy that's coming through here, and it's all about relationship. And although this is shame, I think it boils down to there being something going on within ourselves that we're not really trusting other people to put ourselves in their hands in some capacity. Okay? Because we've been hurt. And we might not know when or how or why, but I feel like we've been hurt in love, maybe in a past life, maybe just what we've witnessed, whatever's happened, maybe someone's treated us not good, whatever's gone on here. Now, shame to come out twice here in the shadow cards is quite significant here, okay? And so when we boil everything down, we might feel ashamed of something within us that is trying to prove out in the world something to ourselves. Okay, and however we go about it could be different for everybody. And what I'm really seeing here is a mixture of things. I think we sabotage a lot of our relationships. Some of you guys definitely are treating people not good in your world. And we push people away because we want to scratch the itch of the shame here. And so we might want to argue. We might feel just mad at the world about what's happened to us. Okay, or we might be even, with this comic here, we could be downplaying or like sort of like mocking people or situations, or like trying to really do and irritate the worst of the situation in some way and agitate it, so that throughout all that stuff, we can prove to ourselves some sort of self-fulfilling prophecy that either we're undeserving of love, or we can't be lovable, or love is something we can't attain. And so we don't know how to deal with our emotions at the end of the day. Okay? And so we're having to do the work in order for us to come home back to self. And it's not really coming home because, like I say, the self's already there. But once we undo this, then we see ourselves and we've returned in a way to our inner light so that we can have healthy relationships. And so right now, I think we're very uncomfortable with the idea of relationship and being vulnerable, being open, and feeling like someone else could impede in this world. And so some of us are really hung up on our own independence, our own autonomy from others, because they're going to contaminate and hurt me. Or we feel like we've already been contaminated and hurt in the past. And so now we're like contaminating and hurting others by this experience that we had. And it's like, you're not your past experience. You're reborn every moment. And this seems to be coming through my readings now, like almost like a common theme. You're reborn now. You're not who you were 2 seconds ago when I just said that last sentence. You're reborn now again. completely different. You have nothing to do with your experiences of the past. And right now, there's this thinking that this situation that's happened to you, this person used me, abused me, hurt me, made me feel dirty, whatever the word is, not good about myself. That's who I am now, and now we put on the mirror, the face into the world that is creating all sorts of suffering for us. We're sabotaging relationships, and then we're frustrated. We're frustrated with other people because it's like, see, they're doing exactly what I thought they would do. It's like, no, you just sabotage. That's why they did what they did, because you're not going to stop until they do that thing, because you're sabotaging it to the point of proving yourself right. Okay. And then we might know this. We might get frustrated with ourselves, or frustrated why we can't bond or connect. And it's like, I feel, and it's like the only reason we'd feel, is because we still think whatever happened to us is a part of who we are. So what is this about? This is all about identifying where it is that we had an experience, if we can. Okay, if you don't remember it, and then just sit with that feeling. You don't got to pinpoint back in 1979. This is when, Timmy Bob cheated on me or whatever, or this happened that made me feel not good. What we need to do is sit with that energy. Now, if you know of the situation that happened, we sit with that energy without judgment, without resistance. The mind's going to want to wander. It's going to want to pass judgment. It's going to want to make up stories. It's going to want to say, this should have happened, that should have happened, I should have, that should have. It's going to try to do that. It doesn't need the narration. It doesn't need judgment. It doesn't need any of that editorializing at all, because that's just opinion. Okay, that's going to create suffering and judgment and make you not feel good. Okay, so there is nothing to editorialize or to put onto that experience. An experience happened. Experiences happen because other people are shadowed, and it's not something that they're selecting that it's you specifically it needs to happen to. Okay, there's a lot of experiences that happen because of karma and lessons, and so this is all about you having an experience that you're needing to see through without judgment and acceptance, and see that whatever that experience was has absolutely nothing to do with who you are or your innate value of what you can produce or give. But whatever you experience here has handicapped you in a way that doesn't allow you to trust your feelings, to express feelings in a soft way to share with other people. And so we're rough around the edges. Okay, and so everyone out there is you. And when you start to treat people the way that this is happening, it's going to keep coming back to you. And it's not a good feeling, sitting with frustration and anger, seeing them out there, them that's hurt me. It's like, no, whatever's happened to you, it was a part of self. And that might be very difficult for us to accept, that we brought that upon ourselves. Okay, this isn't victim blaming, shaming. It's the subconscious and the experiences that we were meant to experience. We're pulling those towards us all time so that we can keep growing and ascending. Okay, and so this experience was brought to you, magnetized to you for this sort of understanding, so we can see the truth. And the truth is, you're not that experience. You're not what has happened to you. And we might not believe that at first. Okay, and that's fine. We got to be honest with ourselves. We can't just lie to self and be this bypassing. I'm not my experience. Okay, great. It's like, no, this is all about undoing a deep belief. You really believe that you are that thing that happened, and so therefore it made me used, or it made me that, it made me, you're making all these judgments. It made you. No, well, that's not you. Who's that me that it made? Who's the I within there that got used or treated poorly or whatever? There is no I within there. There really isn't. Okay, ask yourself, the thought that you have in your mind, can you touch it? Is it a real thing? If I say to you, I really believe and feel I am the unicorn, I believe it truly because I feel it in my bones. You're not going to believe it. It's still just a thing, an illusion, a construct of my belief, even if I'm intense about it, right? So you believe that the thing happened to you, okay? And it was an experience, but it didn't happen to you. because there is no you. Follow that chord within you. Where are you feeling it within yourself that you think is all of you wrapped up, the you that pile number 2 is? When I say, who are you? You're going to say, I'm a wife, I'm a this, I'm a that, and all of these things that you think that you are. But who is behind that, all those things? There is no you. We're deconstructing that. Okay? Because as long as you feel like you are separate from that in which is out there, you're going to perpetuate this feeling that you're a victim to whatever's happened to you, and you're going to carry around this belief like it's real, and you're going to eat the grass like you're the unicorn. Okay, and so whatever's happened to you has happened in an experience, but it doesn't make you any different. It doesn't turn you into anything different. And so now your actions are driven from this belief that you carry. And so there's a block to being able to show up and express and deal with people when it comes to love in a way that's healthy. So we need to close out this experience and move beyond this experience, which means we have to sit with it, accept that that experience has happened, and be like the parent for your inner child or that part of you that sat through this traumatic experience, and not water down or gaslight and say it's just an illusion, it never happened. Okay, sit with it. You feel it's real. That's okay. But once you sit through it, you'll come to the conclusion that the trauma is an illusion. It never happened. It didn't. It couldn't. There is no you. Okay, and so someone was acting in shadow. Someone did something. There was an experience you had. And this experience has nothing to do with your energy and who you are right now, right here. Okay, now I say you, the essence, your light. Unless you hang on to that past and you keep bringing it forward and you keep choosing to eat the grass, thinking you're a unicorn. So you're having a challenge, I feel, in romantic relationships. I really do. And I do feel like we're angry and confrontational and difficult to be around in that type of an energy. And that's not who you are. That's how you're acting, because you need to unbind and undo and unsee this illusion of what's happened to you, that it's not you. And that when you engage that way, it's like a coping mechanism and you're sabotaging, for one, but you're doing it to yourself. That other people coming into your world are actually being pulled to you to reflect this back to you so you can deal with this and see this, because out there is a part of what's going on within you. So we're so close to who we think we are that we're not getting up on a higher floor. So whatever's happened, whatever you felt, okay, you're seeing it from that sort of level. Try to go up to the 6th floor if you can of what happened. Don't identify as that person. Pretend that whoever that was that it happened to was like a friend or something. Okay. And now see all the players and what has happened. And see that the other people involved or person involved or the situation, see it unfolding. And like, could it be possible that those other people or that person was trauma triggered or had their own intentions, or there were other things going on outside of the circumstance? Were there other factors and experiences that sort of led to this thing? Could it be possible? If yes, Those are the only things that we can conceive of. What about everything else we can't even conceive of? Could those things be possible? Now, would you tell your friends to carry that burden and that belief and that thought forevermore and keep pushing it throughout their existence? No, you would tell them that whatever's happened, there was an excluded thing. And yes, they're allowed the permission to gain their bearings and overcome that in which they experience, which could have felt very not good and traumatic. And they deserve to take as long as it takes to sort of sit with that. But once they know that it had nothing to do with them, okay, and I'm saying them, you, it had nothing to do with you. Okay, but we need to feel it and flesh it out. We need to forgive. So we're not bound and tethered to that experience. You don't got to go talk to this person or any of this stuff. But forgive that person, that situation at that point in time was the greatest thing that could have happened in that moment, in that point in time, for there to be a shift, a change at that point in time, because the divine knows exactly as it's unfolding for a reason we do not see or know. We accept it, and we know that there's more. So thank you. Thank you, divine, for an experience. I know it was difficult, but I know you're trying to help me see or help that person so they can evolve and change. And I happen to be that in which was part of that design. Thank you. You know, and this isn't gaslighting. This is really truly feeling like, okay, I can accept. You know, I can accept and I can see it and I can remove the lens of that in which was being the I that was like separate from divine and separate from everyone else. It's like, no, you're not separate. That's an illusion. You're part of the universe. You're part of everything. Okay? There is no secluded I, independent I, individual I that got hurt from someone else doing something else to you. There was a meat suit with another meat suit manifesting, and consciousness and karma and energy was playing out at a point in time, which, by the way, doesn't even exist, because the only thing that exists is right here, right now, right here, right now, right here, right now. So all of that can go away, but we can't just gaslight and say, okay, go away, it doesn't exist, and I'm just going to be in the right here and drop it all until we feel what's happened there, however many tears or whatever we need to do to process. But then we can't attach to that story and identify with that story because we keep it alive. We keep the cord tethered to that experience. So we have to go to the 6th floor and see it after we've cried about it and know and keep knowing. It's like, I know that this was an experience of the past and it no longer exists. And it will almost seem like nothing to you, nothing. It was a thing. It doesn't dictate or determine your value and if you're capable of being in a relationship or not, or how gullible you are, or whether you can be used or not. I feel like you feel used, played. And so there's a lot of shame here. It's like, oh, and so now it's like, I want to be the player, or I want to be angry at the world about it, you know? That's the type of energy it's giving off. So you're just going to perpetuate this. And guess who the joke's going to be on? It's going to be on you again and again and again and again and again. So we got to break out of this cycle. You're not contaminated. Okay. So, and the world that you see out there, all those people, they're all you. They're all God's children coming from the same source. And so what you do and how you treat others is going to come straight right back to you. Okay. So let's see. Spirit for pile number 2 in this shadow. What am I missing here? Okay, let's see. So we have Desert 67, 4 of Earth Guardians. So yeah, this is the 4 Pentacles. We're hanging on to what has happened. And we could be so held back, so blocked, you know, really holding back our own feelings here. clinging to that safety, and it doesn't feel comfortable. It's tiring. A Four of Pentacles is very tiring. It's withholding emotions, allowing ourselves to feel, giving us permission to feel safe. If you think the world is unsafe and out to hurt you, that's the world you're manifesting, and that's the world you're going to see. If you see a neutral world out there through the eyes of an observer as what's happening, then you're just going to see things happening at random. Things hurt and things won't, and things are manifesting, but you're the one attributing yes, no, hurt, no, black, white, like no, doesn't need any of your narrations. Neutral observation of something as it's happening. We're already sort of putting the lens of the victim and feeling threatened by certain situations from the past because we're still hanging on to that experience tightly, and it's limiting. When we have our hands tied, hanging on to something, we can't bring in anything new. So you're right now in your energy field are really hanging on to that experience, so much so that this will forever remain in your energy field until you let that go. You're going to keep feeling this way of this experience is real and bring in more of that same sort of vibration toward you. I feel like you're not going to bring in anything new is what I feel. I feel like you're hanging on and your hands aren't free. So nothing new can come in. You're already filling your world and your energy with that past experience, period. That's where you sit until you work with your energy to release that. The grip you have, that you identify with that experience that didn't feel good. And we have 58, angel light, 9 of activations. So activations is swords. 9 of swords. Yeah, we're in our mind about it. Which created a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of judgments, and kept us in a mental prison. And I think what we're doing is we're engaged in the present moment in situations. And I say engaged. We're actually we're present. No, how do I say it? We're manifested in the present moment, but our energy and our mind is not present. It's detached. It's living in the past. It's living in the mind. It's trapped in a prison, in the illusion, in the matrix. As long as you aren't present to what is here and now, when reality, you're still living in the past, mentally checked out in some fantasy of the past, which happens to be painful, by the way, and you're choosing to live in that painful world, navigating that maze onward and onward, figuring out, trying to understand and do more, and you're living in that world constantly, not getting out. It's a maze. It's in your mind, and that's the Four Pentacle. You're choosing, okay, whether you're actively, consciously aware that you're choosing this, to hang on to that world. But now we're going to the 6th floor, and now we know. It's like, I'm doing this. I'm actually doing this. Okay, now we don't judge yourself, but now we can see. I could see that I'm in my mind about it. I could see I'm making stories about it. I could see that I was hurt about it. I could see that I'm passing all of this sort of judgment and making all sorts of narrations and editorializing what happened, how it happened, trying to figure out, and all of this stuff. That is what's keeping me stuck. I don't need to do any of that. I don't need to justify it. I don't need to validate it. I don't need to undo it. I don't need to do anything from that. I just need to accept that part of me that had an experience was a part of me that had an experience. And that's it. Everything else is noise, keeping you trapped in an illusion of something that's happened. Okay, but you got to get there organically, and I'm not trying to water it down, but you'll get there to a certain point. When you cry enough, when you see enough, through the illusion enough, you'll know that this Four Pentacles is what's hurting you in the present moment, because the present moment, you need to be present. You can't be thinking of the past when you're in the present moment, or else you're never present. You're always living in the past, always. Okay, so we have 14. As above, so below. Temperance. Sagittarius energy. So this is about healing and balance, okay? So yes, we need to heal what's happened so that we can be balanced in the present moment. Right now, we're not capable of any sort of balanced relationship until we heal. Okay, and I use the words heal. There's nothing really to heal until we see through the illusion of what's happened here. Then we can come balanced. Then we can actually receive and give in a nice way here that feels very good and soothing. But right now it's like it doesn't feel soothing. It feels sort of disjointed. I'm still sort of my own worst enemy here. Yes, you are, because in the relationship or in the present moment that requires your engagement to be aware and conscious, you're not present. You're still hanging on to the past idea and stories and things of what's happened. Okay, so you can't contribute in a balanced way. So we have 11, alignment of heart with justice. Yeah, this is all about balance, but again, this is like bringing justice. So it's like you might be trying to think out there is what's going to make you feel good with balance and justice. Like this person needs to apologize, or I need to find fairness about it, or I'm going to finally think about and seek the answer I need that's going to make me feel better, or I'm finally going to unravel this mystery and then feel better, and then I'll feel better, and then no, there's no and then you'll feel better. You're never going to. Right here, right now is perfect. You're already just. There is no seeking. There's no answer you're going to find out there that you're going to conclude or come up with. If you are in that sort of energy, you're in 4 Pentacle, you think that you're going to eventually feel better. Eventually you'll heal. Eventually, it's like, no, you'll keep projecting that out into the future. Okay, and so no, this future is never going to come. It's going to keep getting pushed out. And by the way, there is no future and there is no past. There's just right here. And so right here, if we're still feeling pain about what's happened and sadness and all of this stuff, then we can cry it out and see it and sit with it, but if we've already done that, which some of you guys might have already, there is no more answer. There's just knowing that you're identified as that thing and you're attached to it. Break that illusion. Be right here, right now. Everything is just. There's no justice you need to seek. Okay, the healing that you're seeking and wanting and all of that's already here. You have to choose it. That's how you get it. You choose it. It's not going to come to you. You don't got to go keep searching for it. It's already within you. Grab it and let go of this thing so you can grab this thing right here, right now. It's side by side. It's on top of each other and you're grabbing this. Grab this one instead. So we have courageous alignment, 7 of light codes, 7 wands, defensive, guarded, protecting. We don't want anyone to do this to us. And so we're going to get them before they get us, and maybe we don't know that we're doing this with the sabotage. This is like self-fulfilling prophecy. I'm just going to hurt. This is just going to happen. And so I'm already assuming, projecting, putting out there whatever's going to come back to me. There's no need to be defensive, guarded, protective. There's just being neutral and observing. Nobody can do anything to you. They can't unless you allow them to energetically make you believe certain illusions. Can someone make you believe something different? No. You could feel what you felt in the moment, and that's the body having an experience. Can you be in a body having an experience? Yes? Great. Then you were a body having an experience back in the day, if you even want to call it back in the day. And now in the present moment, this body's no longer having that experience. But it's still in its mind, creating the illusion. This thing can go away easily. Okay? I say easily because it really is easy. But if, we're too attached to it, it becomes more difficult than it needs to be. And that's fine. But once we get there, we see how easy it was to just break the illusion that the body had an experience and it's no longer having that experience. The only thing that exists is right here without any editorializing or story. So there is no need to be defensive and guarded and protected. What are we protecting from? You're safe. You're sitting with your feet on the floor, watching this video. Feel your feet. Feel your arms, feel your body. You're safe. Is there anything threatening you right here, right now? That's who you are within you. Connect to self. Connect to the experience you're having right now. Put your hand on your heart right now. Right now. Right now is your light here. You're none of this other stuff. Let that stuff go. Okay? Heart fire, 3 of activations, 3 swords. Heartbroken and feeling very hurt. Okay, 44, Sedona Vortex, 9 of portals, 9 cups. So, what Spirit's talking about here? We can't just say get over it because we don't know how to get over 3 swords. What Spirit's showing is whatever you experienced in the past has hurt you. There's no doubt it hurt you. Allow yourself to make space to overcome this, however long it takes, without judgment. We don't need to judge ourselves that I was this, I was gullible, I was that, I was and all of that. You're the one creating, being the judge of what's right and what's wrong. And there is no right and wrong. And if you ask 10 million people, you'll get 10 million different answers. So why would your story be any more right than anyone else's? It's not. And so whatever happened was an experience without anyone putting a word to it, because no one can. An experience is an experience. There is no word for it. That happened to your body. And your divine light is perfectly fine. And it is here with you present. It's the same light you were born with. It's not tainted or touched in any different way. It's still beautiful. And so there's nothing to defend. There's nothing to fight off. There is really nothing even to heal. You're going to find your happiness here with this 9 cups. You want to be emotionally happy. And I feel like for some of you guys, maybe we're really sort of hyper independent here. Thinking we got to be alone because everyone else is going to hurt me. And no, they're not going to hurt you. You can add to the beauty of this world when you let go of this pain. And your light can't be contaminated. Other people cannot do anything to you, but you can share experiences with people. And it can be pleasant and feel good rather than feeling tension and angry and frustrated and tiring. Which do we choose? It's up to you, because I feel like you want to have a beautiful experience, but you might be so frustrated here that's just like, I just push people out, without either thinking that you're doing it, knowing that you're doing it. But that's what you're doing. Because when we engage with people, when we have a 7 wands, and in our subconscious, we're really projecting this sort of shame that we have, and we're still sort of in our mind about it and not being in the present moment objectively, without the veil of the hurt, then we're not being present for other people. We're saying, hey, person, I'm sitting here with you, but I'm really thinking of the betrayal, and I'm really thinking of all of this stuff, and I'm stuck here, and I'm like creating illusions, creating circumstances that don't exist. And all this situation requires me is to be present in my conscious light, being of service to you, listening to you, being present for you, not thinking, that I got to guard myself and be defended, and you're going to do this and you're going to do that, and this is how I have to be in order to protect me from that. Like, all of that's illusion and nonsense. It really is. You can be how you are. And if you say, well, I need to guard myself because what if this happens again? For Pentacles, how could it happen again? To who? There is no person it happened to. Your body, when you silence the mind, is going to tell you situations that feel good and don't feel good. You'll know when things feel good and when they don't feel good. Okay? You'll know. You're not going to be just floating around letting people just use and abuse you. No. But you got to be present in the moment or else you'll miss it. If you're too much in your mind thinking about the past things are happening to you in the present moment. You're not even watching and seeing and engaged with. You're missing it all. You're missing the life. So you want to be present in this moment to watch and see, because every moment is completely different. How's this person engaged? What are they saying? How are they being? It's like, ooh, fascinating. But they can't touch your light. They can't contaminate you, but you can be engaged. and you can contribute and have conversation and share emotionally however you want, however you choose, because you're conscious and present and you're in control of what comes out and how you engage, not your trauma, not your response. You're not just 7 wands. Your unconscious is just being all random and sabotaging and pushing people out and feeling defensive and hurt, but you don't even realize you're doing it. No, you're conscious, you're present, you're aware. And then your 9 cups, because guess what? You'll find out, wow, more people actually, yes, they might have trauma, but they want the best. And now you feel free. You feel emotionally liberated, that nobody holds your emotions hostage anymore in some world of illusion and mind, story, and trap. It's always been free. You've always been free. Okay? Pile number 2, this is your reading. I love you so much. I'm sorry, beautiful angel, that you went through something here. Okay? You can let this go. Put it behind you. I love you so much, and I will see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Gorgeous angels. Pile number 3. You guys picked the card of week. Now we're looking at your challenge in regards to what might be going on in your shadow or your subconscious with trauma or trigger, whatever's going on here that Spirit's wanting you to transmute into light or to heal or to see or to understand. It could be something you're already doing, knowing about. I don't know what we're going to see, but Spirit might bring up the one that's maybe creating the most challenge. So if you are triggered, good. Okay, that means you found your right pile. And so no shame. And there's just working through. Nothing should create triggers within us if we're healed. There should be no aversion. We shouldn't get all conflicted. It's just either resonates or doesn't. Okay. So beautiful angels, let's take a look. If you guys want to, whatever, grab your teas, your waters, and sit with me throughout this thing, okay, as we unpack what this is. And if it becomes challenging, then go to another reading or just come back to it. That's fine. Don't force yourself, okay? Not every shadow, darkness door is meant to be open unless we're ready. Okay, so I do ask you sit through the card layout in order for us to tap into your intuition so that you know that this is your pile, okay? We have 8 with alchemy. The frequency of alchemy activates our magical ability and remembrance of the magic that we all hold inside. Each one of us has the potential to access the ancient knowledge that allowed the true alchemist to perform the miracles of transmutation. Wow. Powerful energy. I'm getting the magician energy, so some Virgo and some Gemini. And we have fox. Foxes are heavily intelligent creatures. Okay, but foxes could sometimes be a little bit avoidant. Could be in denial sometimes with deception or strategic. A magician sometimes can be trickster energy as well. So we could have some sort of, I don't know, tricky avoidance sort of energy here. We'll see. So we have 13 with Mars, Pluto. Wow. Is that 13? No, I'm so sorry. 43. So 43 could be significant. Or the number 7. So Mars is a ruling planet for Aries, Scorpio, Pluto, Scorpio. We have some masculine energy here, shadow energy with Pluto. Okay. And here we have Mars, Neptune, number 42. Wow, 42, 43. So we have succession here. Mars, so heavy masculine energy here. Okay, Mars could definitely also represent your sexual energy, but yeah, there's masculine energy pulling through. Neptune's the ruling planet for Pisces, so it could be dreamy energy. Oh, about fantasy and let's see. Yeah, and when we read, I don't know, what was it? I thought it was your pile. As above, so below. Alchemy, Neptune. Are we manifesting our dreams? Are we living in some other planet here, you guys? I don't know. Let's see. So we have the sign of Libra. Cooperation to perfect, decisions about, and resulting from the fairness shown by. relationships, the beauty of do it with your partners. And okay, so Libra energy. And we have Uranus with genius. Number 9. So we have some Aquarius energy. We have the card of 1-1, clear energy blocks, activating the higher chakras. Wow. Wow, wow. Okay. So Uranus could be judgment and tower energy. We have Venus, so more Libra here. Beloved, 21, or the number 3. Some Taurus energy as well. And we have surrender unhealthy relationships. Let go of relationships that don't serve you, including unavailable or toxic people. You deserve to be treasured by others and to be surrounded by positive people. So Venus right beside this relationship card with the Libra. All about relationships here. Okay, here we have the Blue Temple, 54. The number 9 again, and we had 9 here. So 9 is all about fruition, completion, fulfillment. 9 is also moon. Okay, moon is feminine. We have a lot of Mars with masculine. Now we have moon with feminine. This Blue Temple is giving me this sort of Neptunian energy. Okay, and we have apathy. Ignite your passion for the antidote to indifference. And it says indifference, distrust, and I don't know what that says. It is really difficult with these cards because they use the faintest thing. Detachment, it says. Detachment. So we are feeling some avoidant energy here. Look at the beautiful sunflowers. We're feeling some avoidant energy here. Okay. Yeah, Mars. This is like this polarity here. Mars is strong, you know? Okay. Interesting. The Blue Temple. Let's read this Blue Temple. Okay, let's see. What do we got? Is this book? Yeah. 54. Boop, right here. So it says celestial realm, the imagination, expansiveness. Welcome to the Blue Temple, the home of the alchemical imagination. Alchemical imagination with Neptune. Interesting, you guys. It says, you have entered a space of new depths, new possibilities. The inner eye opens as you become willing to see in a new way. To understand this card, one must study blue itself. Look, see in a new way, activating the higher chakras. Wow. Okay, it is the celestial color of the sky, the ocean, and the peacock's tail. Though potent, blue slips away. Through this color, our imagination threads together experiences both grim and glorious. Think blue films and blue ribbons, the halls of heaven and the harrows of melancholy. We are taken into the depths of mood, of tone, of the rhythm, and the blues. The eternal mystery of blue will only deepen as we study it, and this is precisely the point. Leave the cerebral behind. Cloak yourself in the sapphire robe and sit quietly in the vault of mysteries. Go deeper. Look at the surrealist and Dadaist work and let your imagination roam to ponder Earth as azure vault. So it says, once in a blue moon is a significant phrase. If the Blue Temple card and the Moon card appear together, take note. The unlikely is most likely. Ooh, we got relationships here. And Uranus, my goodness, were we awakened by some relationship here? Many people dismiss the azure vault as nonsense. Don't worry about them. Stay tuned to your own attendance to the sacred place and notice how you feel there. Wow. Beautiful. Let's keep going. We have mentor, light attributes, passing on wisdom and refining a student character. Shadow attributes, inability to allow the student to move on to a role of master, imparting false instruction. Okay, and then we have the Aletheia Card number 77. Yeah, 77. So 77 is a master number. That is about trust the fall, an adventure that arises from deep wisdom, trust of life, and trust of self. Wow. Aletheia. Okay. Should we read that one too? Sorry, I am being called to read that one too, but it is from my other book here. Do I have it? I do want to read it, but I got to find my book. I'm going to pause. I'll be right back. Okay, I found the book. Then I went to get some candy. I feel a little sick. I don't know if it's just hot in this room or what, but I'm a little nauseous. So this card, it says the truth. Okay, Aletheia. Our soul recognizes the truth. When someone speaks it, a cool wave of relief washes over the room, and all the facts and figures in the world fall by the wayside. Such is the power of Aletheia. It is an undeniable resonance that goes beyond the rational. Beyond the rational. Remember that saying, don't believe what other people are sort of saying is true about what's real and what's not real. And that the truth goes beyond the rational, meaning the mind, the logic. Are we connecting to the higher chakras, the spiritual chakras, the woo-woo, the astral realm, as above, so below, stuff we can't see, but we want to make it real. Okay, so it says we can also recognize Aletheia by its contagiousness. When we hear someone speak the truth, we see the truth within ourselves and are more likely to tell our own story. The Aletheia card requires us to step towards an act of truth. Wow, I just got chills. You're being called to do something, pile number 3. This might look like a conversation, a gesture, a poetic act, or a ritual that honors the unveiling of what's been concealed. Reclaiming your own truth is a way to reclaim your vital energy, masculine energy, health, and sense of belonging in the world. Truth has its own wings. Set it free. When light means clarity, revelation, and disclosure. Wow. When dark, distortions, gaslighting, and excuses. Go deeper. The goddesses, Mat and Verities. It says, it is said that the resonance of our voice changes when we speak a falsity. In this light, practice seeing truth as a vibration. Beautiful. Picasso said, we all know that art is not truth. Art is a lie that makes us realize truth. At least the truth that is given us to understand. Okie dokie. Powerful. I'm glad I read that. We have 89, happy event, growth level, love at first sight. You guys, did I not say there was something here with the blue moon by the lovers? Because this is talking about like something in a blue moon here. Look at this, love at first sight, love, certainty, falling in love, sudden love, intense love, obviousness, strong feelings. So what's obvious? If we think something or if we feel something, how can you prove a feeling? Strong feeling. This would be this blue energy. All right. Okay. So type 8, the challenge your instinctive center between strength and weakness. Number 8. Okie dokie. We have practicality, number 10. And we have moon in Capricorn. All right. Some Saturn energy. 10. Wow. That's heavy. And then we have 12 with submission. 12 is hangman. Change perspective. Submission. We have a bird that looks like it's in a cage. And we have Venus again. Oh my goodness, you guys. Venus. Libra. Relationships. Venus. And Pisces. Okay, so Venus and Pisces with submission. Number 12 or number 3. And then we have assertiveness. Oh my goodness. 85, integration, growth level, thorough action, positioning, decision, discipline, self-expression. Which you're feeling over here. I think, were we not? I don't know, maybe it was just a feeling I was having here. Type 4, the individualist, emotional center between lack and abundance. 85. Number 4 and 1. 4 is Emperor. 1 is Magician energy. New beginnings. Take a look at him in deep thought. I'm seeing 2 swords. Assertiveness. So what's assertiveness? This is this Mars energy. Masculine energy. Oh, wowzers. I don't know how this mentor, this is the only one that's sort of giving a different energy than all the rest, but let me tap into this bad boy. Okay, actually, I do know how this fits. Beautiful angels. This could be your energy or people you're dealing with so that you understand what you're sort of engaged with here. Okay, I'm going to read this as your energy. And like I said, we're looking at challenging, shadowy, subconscious sort of things. This is giving me also what's going on right now in regards to, I think there's a decision that needs to be made because I've seen 2 swords and something here that needs to be decided on or like surrendered to or given into in some way. Okay, there's also something showing up here about a happening in a blue moon, meaning like a very rare situation here. And I do feel as a relationship. Okay, let's get into what's going on here. This person I'm tapped into here, which I'll read as you. There's an avoidance and there's trying to convince ourselves of something that's not necessarily true. So it's almost like a mind versus heart, an inner knowing. We can't put words to an inner knowing. If I say, you don't love so-and-so, you can't feel love, is that true? No, you feel love. And then I'll say, well, no, you don't. Prove it to me. Show me. Explain to me. It's like it's not enough for you to prove and use words and explain, right? You just inner feel it. There's something here about an inner experience that you're denying or suppressing or pretending doesn't exist because it's not in your mind. And I do feel it has something to do with you surrendering to submit to some sort of feeling or something you don't understand. And you might feel like, ugh, it makes me feel out of control. It makes me feel weak. It makes me feel uncomfortable. Why does it make you feel uncomfortable? Because you might feel like you don't have the power, the control, or the understanding to be able to navigate it or fully understand it. And so we hesitate or we resist. There's a deception here. And I think the deception is to yourself. And so you might be putting on one face to the world. Now, whatever face you're putting to the world here is not in line with the truth. And you might be sort of resisting, fighting off, and pretending and avoiding the reality of something here that you don't want to acknowledge. Okay? For the reasons that all of you guys might have different maybe experiences of why this might be. Okay, and the why, we're kind of diving into how it's impacting you and what the thing is, but why that thing got planted and at what point in time and who it was that planted it there and all of that is really irrelevant to your healing. You can figure that out if you want. Okay, that can help you. But the point being, whatever's in your energy body is an understanding of something, and it's battling yourself internally, and it's making you feel in a certain way that's actually resisting something that you're being called to acknowledge, deal with, and be honest about. So you could bring peace, happiness into your world. And I do feel it's impacting a relationship. I do feel it impacts your heart and love and feels, but I feel like it might shake up and wake up your world. So I'm going to use an example here. Okay. If we are sexually, let's say, pulled to the same sex. Okay. This is not giving any of that, by the way. I'm just using this as an example. Okay. And we have inner feelings of this thing. And so that's real, just like love is real. But I know, and I've been sort of programmed or trained or conditioned and seen all my life that a man and a woman come together and they get together. And so I understand that to be truth. Is it true, though, that I also have all these other feelings and these things are happening within me? Yes. I'm not going to pretend they don't exist. And we might feel really weak to give into that. I'm going to be judged, or it's going to take away my power, or it makes no sense, but it makes no sense, but it makes no sense, and sit there spinning our wheels trying to make sense of it. I am straight. I'm going to pray away the gay. No, you're not. No, you're not. Okay? And so I feel like for some of you guys, what this might also be is spirituality. And it's like fighting spirituality. It's like, no, that's not real. It's like, I don't want to be woo-woo or crazy or start to like believe in this stuff. I don't want to start to buy into this stuff. It's like, you don't, because why? Because people told you tarot cards were evil, or why? You know, it's just like, oh, well, religion told me I got to believe in, I don't know, believe in Jesus's resurrection and that'll be born again. And if you don't, you're going to hell. Okay. So everything you're experiencing spiritually about love and about the divine and about God and about all of God's children, even those that might have different religions like Buddha, you know, or a bunch of people who are maybe atheist or agnostic, but are kind, compassionate, loving, caring, they're all going to hell. But you, who passes no judgment at all, are going to heaven. Okay. Does not make any sense. Okay. And I'm not picking religion again. I know I'm really getting these points across. Okay. Because I feel like there's some truth that we can't put our fingers on in our mind and say this, and this, because spiritual truths are never about the mind and the intellect ever. They're inner experiences that you can't put words into. So they're felt, and then they're confirmed by feels, and they're in the higher realms. And so you're being called to manifest something. Okay, I know this is a little bit of pockets everywhere, and I feel like the manifestation here is your purpose in line with your calling. And I do feel it could certainly be around communicating the truth, your truth, whatever your truth is that's being felt here. But you are conflicted because it's going to shake up your world. And I also feel like it might impact different people in your world. You know, you want to keep the peace, or you don't want to rock the boat, or you want to toe the line. My family, my father and his father and his father's father were all straight men. Okay, so what does that have to do with you having to be straight man? So I feel like whatever this is, okay, and this could even be all of a sudden I was pulled to be a shaman and turn this corporate job over, and everyone is just going to look at me in a certain way. So it's obviously not real. This passion doesn't really exist. I didn't really feel what I felt. And I'm just convincing myself that this is something that could be, but it's like, no, you're trying to talk yourself out of the truth. The truth is you felt something here that was very real, and it was felt. It might not have any words to it. You might not be able to explain it. And now you're being called to manifest it, whatever this is. Stop resisting and fighting. The only person you're sort of convincing is yourself. So you're avoiding, you're denying, you're wearing a mask to the world, and you're being aloof and detached and pretending like this other thing isn't your calling. And it is your calling. And you're avoiding this tower, shaking up the world, shaking up what people might think or say, or the peace that you held within you, or an image you have to upkeep, or something in your own mind that maybe no one even knows about, that you're thinking that you look in a certain way and nobody even cares, because you realize no one's thinking about you. No one's even looking at you. No one cares. And so how long are you going to be unhappy denying the truth? Saying, but at least my grandfather is his grandfather, and they're all like passed over, and you're the one here in the 3D world living miserably, looking out the window at the thing that you really wanted. So you could sit there convincing yourself all you want, trying to find answers, reading up about it, getting stuck in the trap. Maybe I'll find more about why this isn't true, or why there's a greater truth here than what I'm seeing. And then I'll change my mind, or then I'll believe it, and then no, you won't. And for whatever reason, I think you feel not bought in. And so you feel incapable of some sort of ability. It's like, well, I'm not capable, or I don't have the ability or the power or the strength to go in line with that. And Spirit's really saying the only reason why you are telling yourself this or feel this is because you bought the conditioning, the program, and you identify that you have a belief here that is more true than that in which you feel. And which carries more, the identity and the belief, that illusion and the attachment you have to that story, or the inner feeling that you have? Which one's more true? And why is one more truthful than the other? You're balancing the two. And because you always choose what is factual or maybe right or in the mind, it always wins, it always trumps over. And what's to say the mind story trumps what you feel? And why is this mind story even accurate? It's just a belief. What makes you sort of know what's right and what's wrong based on what you've been programmed? Because again, a million different people will have a million different ways of seeing that thing, and they're all right from their perspective. So it's just a perspective. It's not an absolute truth. You can't for sure know anything absolutely, ever. You can only get close to a real truth with the universe, but you'll never know 100% truth. You only come in with your perception. And so your perception, which is twisted and contorted with your veil of experience, genetics / projections and traumas and subconscious, is one scale. And the other scale is an inner feeling of knowing that's true and true and true, just like love. So which is more true, love or all of the shadow triggers, beliefs, constructs, and what's going on in my mind? Probably love, because you didn't have to concoct it. It came as a sudden thing. When we have a feeling, it is natural, just like pooping, peeing, crying. It's a feeling that happens. We don't got to think about it. It just happened. Whatever this thing is that's just happening, it's the real one. It's the real scale. The other scale is the pretend, is the false, is you denying, suppressing, convincing, contorting, resisting, manipulating, avoiding. And we might feel like giving into it might put us in a prison maybe, or we might feel like in a prison because we can't give into this thing. I don't know which side you fall on. And we might be more sticking to, I want it to be more like this, more practical, or more dogmatic, or structural, or socially acceptable, or I don't know, whatever you're saying, but it's like you're still projecting what you think is socially acceptable. If we get like a million different people there, you're going to have like so many varying degrees, and none of it's going to match. So what is socially acceptable? What is practical? What is acceptable? Who cares? All of that stuff. Nonsense. It's limiting you and keeping you stuck. You're not free here. And so you're doing the opposite of what you want, because I think you want to be free. But you're thinking, if I give into this, then I'm submitting. I'm not free, And we might be very much in an energy for some of you guys, like fearing commitment or relationship here. And it's like, I'm going to be caged up. No, you're caged up now because you're avoiding relationship and you're miserable in some aspect here, but you don't even realize it because you haven't tasted the other side. Apathy. We don't know what we don't know. And so you say, no, I'm very happy here until we taste the other side of true liberation and freedom. Then we know we were caged up. We were limited. We were stuck. We were miserable because we were in line with truth and authenticity. You can't be happy living in lie. You could be ignorant. Sure, you can know what you not know. But once you're in the truth and you're aligned with the truth, regardless of who says what and different perceptions, that is liberation. That is true feeling of connectedness. And Spirit's trying to bring you into truth, to connect with truth. Okay, and I'm not talking about your perception of truth. I'm talking about reality with a capital R and truth with a capital T, because it's like love. It's felt. It's like a feeling that you don't have to concoct. It just happens. Something's happened here. You'll know what this thing is. You're being asked to make a decision here and express your truth and be in line with it. Okay? Don't go the opposite way here. I mean, you could do what you want, but this is why you're unhappy or suffering or creating challenge, because it's not in line with your truth. You're being called to take action on your truth, despite how fantasy it's like, or woo-woo, or I don't know, whatever words you think it is. It's like, I'm going to enter the shadow. I'm going to enter the unknown. I'm going to, that's all your projection. That's your thought. You think all those things. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Let go of that. If you have an attached thought and a preconceived idea, you're concocting that. You're the master manifester. So of course that thought's going to exist if you think it exists. Or at least that thought. It's nothing but an illusion and a mirage. It no longer exists. That's it. You don't know what people are thinking. You're assuming what they're going to think, what they're going to say, how they're going to react, what they're going to do. It's like, no, maybe they're going to do the opposite. You don't know. And for you to think that you know what other people want and say and do is actually pretty presumptuous. Okay, you're only assuming. And they might say one thing, but maybe they too are admiring this thing. Maybe they too want to do that. It's never happened to them. Remember what this said. Who cares about what other people are saying? They might be lying. They might be projecting. They might be trauma. They might also be ignorant. They might have too never seen the light or had this blue moon experience, because you're having a once in a lifetime blue moon experience. Maybe no one's had this experience ever in their life. You're the only person. And again, if there's like a million sheep all doing the same thing, it doesn't mean that that's right. The truth is the truth is the truth, regardless of however many people are doing it or saying it, or, doesn't make it true. And so I think you're sort of trying to hang on to a truth here that isn't a truth because someone told you, or your old self thinks this way, or I don't know, someone's conditioned you, programmed you, feared you, some sort of thing here you have that's not true. Okay, so be honest and speak the truth. Don't pretend, don't be aloof, and you're being called to take action. Mars, assertiveness, decision, submit to this thing. And it's not even submission, it's just surrendering to liberation. This is going to free you, and you're going to manifest your purpose because you're in line with truth. I don't know why you feel weak. You feel weak when you're aligned with lies. You feel weak when you're sort of doing what everyone else wants you to do. That's what's weak. Okay, there's some cowardly energy here, and it's on the decline. Eventually, we're going to hit rock bottom and feel really weak because we didn't listen to ourselves. You're declining, feeling bad. Yeah, you're feeling bad because there's a big fat lie here. Okay, so the world, close this out. Close this chapter successfully. Say thank you very much that I lived my life as a lawyer in a law firm, and now I'm being called to the mountains of the Norwegian hills so I can practice shamanism. Good. You felt it, you've seen it. Not everybody's doing it. It's in line with your purpose and truth, and you're going to be liberated and free. Okay, now you work towards that. Yes, there might be challenges having to go through it, but you don't need to explain yourself to anyone, ever. So close this out. Close this out. This cycle is ending in your world, okay? So we have 16, equalizing power with the tower in reverse, upkeeping a false world. What will people say? How will I manage this? It's like upkeeping something that is not built on solid ground. The longer I stay as a lawyer there, the more I'm declining. I'm unhappy. I'm not going to start servicing people properly. I think that I need to be there. I start turning bitter and angry. It's not happy. And before I know it, I'm like an 80-year-old person looking out my window and my whole life's passed me by. This tower is not where you're meant to be. Let it fall. People are upset, then those aren't the people that love you and support you. That is the truth. Okay, 45 could be an important number here. So that's number 9. Heart, 10 of portals. 10 cups. We're sacrificing a happily ever after for ourselves. And 10 cups is with someone else. And like I said, for a lot of you guys, it's a relationship. To build a relationship. Now, the someone else could be a community of people, a job we really like, a relationship we really like. We're sacrificing our own future happiness here to upkeep a world that's false because, I don't know, we say so, or Jim said so, or my mom said so, or my family said so. Okay. You have potential on the table here, once in a lifetime opportunity to upkeep something that's so standard and it's not even in line with reality for you. Your reality exists in truth. Or you could play pretend, it's up to you. So we have 24, forward motion, 3 of light codes. So this is 3 wands. Yeah, we're not moving forward in that direction. And things fall apart. 3 wands in reverse is like plans falling apart, things falling apart, not being able to move forward, not getting on that ship. Pointing our nose in the opposite direction. Apathy. Okie dokie. 31, return to the mother tree. 10 of light codes, 10 wands, surrender. We feel weak when we carry the burden. I think the burden is the pretend. The longer I pretend I'm not gay, the longer I pretend I'm the happy lawyer, the longer I pretend that this family is doing it for me, the more suffering you're creating for you and everyone else. You're not being heroic. You're not helping anyone. You're being called to close this out truthfully and successfully, and you will close this out. Okay, you have to surrender, because eventually 1 wand, 1 wand, 1 wand, when you hit 10 wands and it's reverse here, you can't no more. You can't no more lie. You can't no more pretend. It catches up to you. It has to. And you want to do this before you break your back, because now you got to deal with the truth and you have a broken back. You could deal with the truth and have a fixed back, but something here is snapping. You don't need it to snap. You don't need to fight. You don't need to resist. What's for you does not weigh a thing. You don't have to carry it. You don't have to hang on to it. It flows nicely. And it doesn't feel like resistance or indifference or heavy. It's flowing. It's accepting. It's warm. It's gentle. It's kind. It feels right. It flows good. That feels good. Everything else, no, not for you. 50. Pineal pioneers, ace of activations, ace of wands. Again, resisting where I really want to move towards, pretending like I'm not pulled in that direction, putting out that spark. I can't think about it. I got to put out the spark, not follow it. It says who and why? And why is that right? And why is the other thing wrong? 68, snow, 5 of earth guardians. 5 pentacles in reverse. I can't. I don't have the resource. I don't have the money. I don't have the confidence. I can't. I feel weak. I don't have a job. I don't have a car. I don't have a home. Lack, scarcity. What's this telling me? You're projecting an idea through the mind that is not real. Again, the analogy. I'm a unicorn, so I have to eat grass. And I will keep eating grass as long as I believe I'm a unicorn. You will keep saying I cannot as long as you believe you cannot, and that there's something that's stopping you. There's nothing stopping you here except for what you tell yourself and you start to believe is stopping you. You think you're lacking. You think you don't have the thing. And I think you're, with this apathy and this coming out of snow, I think you're trying to do reverse psychology. Pretend more you don't want it. Resist more. Deny, lie, suppress. Make yourself hate whatever this is. And you're getting the opposite, because what you resist persists. It's going to intensify. You're being asked to accept, submit, not freeze out, because you think if you freeze out, it'll go away, and it won't. And so you're going to be happy, fulfilled, and when you accept and close that out, and then things will start to turn, and you can have a new beginning that's aligned with your truth. But as long as you sit here in the pretend world of lies and snowing things out and doing resistance and fighting against and carrying heavy battles and not letting the false fall, and as long as you live here, you're going to be sitting in the shadow and upkeeping your trauma of belief stories alive, of scarcity and lack and all of these stories that you've been fed that are true to you, that aren't true in the real world of reality with the capital R, at the expense of having a happily ever after, because you're the one saying it would be a happily ever after. Spirit is acknowledging it's true. This thing that you feel is actually true. Everything else is the lie. It's aligned with your purpose and your happily ever after. And no matter how much you close your eyes and say it isn't, it doesn't make it so. Just like me being the unicorn doesn't make it so when I say I'm the unicorn, and no. Coral reef, 3 of guardian angels. So there's a need for you to work with other, to create something that'll stand the test of time, that's built on solid ground, not on shaky ground, but it would require you to leave or deconstruct and accept whatever situation here is actually not meant for you and it's wobbly. And so to create something solid would need your cooperation, your acceptance, your truth, and to work with others. You have to work with others to create this thing. There's no way around it. Okay? Or, again, it's your choice, but then you sit here miserable, unhappy, upkeeping, tiring, exhausting, working in the fields, all snowed out and all unhappy, 80-year-old man looking out the window at a life you could have, would have, should have. Miserable, bitter, angry at the world. But it's not the world, it was you, because the power was always in your hands and nobody cared anyways. That's the irony of it. No one's watching you and no one cares. It's no one's life. And if they are saying boo, they're projecting. And you don't know. Are they lying? Are they truthful? Were they conditioned? Who's right? Because you can go outside of your community and that group of people and get complete different answers. And more and more and more. And who knows, maybe 90% of all the other people would swing the other way. We don't know. We're so narrow in the community of the world bubble that we live in. But my family and my this and that is exactly this and that. And so you upkeep that story. You're upkeeping a story here, you guys, okay? And it's not making you happy. So this is the same pile that I always yell at every time I do your reading. And I don't know why that is. I'm just frustrated because I feel like you have a passion, a calling, a purpose outside of this thing, and you're doing everything in your power to not acknowledge it. And you think that, I do feel you really think you're doing the best thing, the right thing. No, does it feel good? If you're still thinking about that other thing and it's calling you, but you're like, yeah, but what I think about it is like that it's bad or that it's not good. It's like, yeah, but you're feeding it. It's coming in energetically. It doesn't know from bad, from good. Is it intense energy? Yes, no. If it's intense energy, it's calling you to deal with that for a reason. You're in denial about it. You're suppressing it. You're avoiding this thing. And you're pretending or mega not seeing it and saying, nope, not for me. But yet, here we are 3 years later, 5 years later, 20 years later, 50 years later, still in the energetic battlefield with this thing. Guess what? It was for you. And you're going to have this realization. And then what? And then you're going to say, look at all this time I missed because I was too busy living in the false world, what other people thought I needed to be or who I thought that I needed to be because I didn't see it. I think you're not seeing it now for some of you guys, you know? Some of you guys might and are just choosing, but I think some of you guys might seriously be like, I don't know, choosing comfort of the mind. Meanwhile, this comfort is actually discomfort. It's actually discomfort. There's more comfort in choosing the thing that looks uncomfortable. If I got to read this correctly, let's just see. Pile number 3, spirits. What is this? What am I missing here? They need to hear whatever it is that they need to hear in order for them to see what it is that they're not seeing or understanding here. Deep dive. 4 of portals. 4 cups. Yeah, you're like maybe saying, oh, it's not for me. I'm disinterested or I won't be accepted. I'll be rejected. Like that's the cup of, or the card of unrequited love, feeling rejected, not wanting to be rejected, boredom. Like, yeah, that's the apathy. Why are we apathetic? Coral reef, 3 guardians. Sorry, 3 of earth guardians, which is the 3 pentacles that we saw. Working with another to build something. Collaboration, cooperation. We're rejecting where we can actually build and convincing ourselves why we cannot build there. And you might really believe that you need a pentacle or you need something more than yourself, and you don't. That's the thing of it. You don't need anything here except acknowledgement. That's all you need, and it will work. Okay? So 4 of activations. That's the 4 of swords. This is healing and reflecting. The lights collect. The world again. So put down your apathy. Close out this rejection. That's what this means. Close this out, saying it's not for me. I have fears of getting rejected. There's something within you that is creating this imposter syndrome and this apathy and this lie, this deceit, this rejection. And it could be a bag full of different things for all of you guys. Once you close this out by acknowledging what is and being available to work in the 3D world with whoever to build whatever. Okay, look, 13, Phoenix of the White Fire, Rebirth. This is the death card in the tarot, Scorpio energy. So transforming a situation by being available to collaborate. Sometimes this is even the, what is it called? The counseling. Okay, but it's like doing whatever it takes to sort of work on something that would require us to be reborn. And look, the opposite week, this is being reborn. Step up, Mars. It's requiring you to step up. Step up with the truth. Step up. Do what you can. Now you might say, well, what can I do? I don't have this, that, or the other. No, again, that's all the projection. You're making up stories what you need. You don't need nothing except for the willing attitude to do what you can do. It will be shown to you. It will be revealed to you. You got to be reborn on this side once the tower falls in your world in order to do what you need to do. Loving compassion with the lovers. Look at this. Choice, lovers, divine purpose, path, dharma, like I said, in line with your destined path. Restful renewal, 4 of activations, 4 swords. You're sleeping on your purpose. You're sleeping on taking action down the path, choosing this person, this path to work in your field. Collective awakening, judgment, wowzers. So, and look at the unicorn, Spirit. I love you. Okay, we have the unicorn, okay, which has been the theme for all my readings with the unicorn. If I believe I'm a unicorn, truly, deeply, I'm going to act like I am. Period, end of story. And I will do this. And the whole world might not ever believe that I am. Okay? But if I believe I am, I will act that way. And so you're acting in a way in which you believe that may or may not be in line with reality or truth. And Spirit is saying it's not in line with the truth with a capital T. And that's what's creating you acting however you're acting. Okay, nothing wrong with it, but it's driving your actions. And so do you want to be awake or do you want to be asleep? Do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? Those are questions you got to ask yourself. Your happiness is actually in line with your purpose. That's going to bring you the most peace. This is what this reading is saying. You have a divine calling. And it doesn't require you to convince anyone, anything at all. It just requires you to acknowledge where you are telling yourself that you're something else or that there's something else going on that's actually not real, because that's driving your actions in a different way. That's not in congruent alignment, because you're being called to work with someone or something and choose this and step up and be honest and accept. And this requires a rebirth, burning off what's not you. Fear of rejection, or I can't, I won't, I don't want, whatever that is, goes away. We close this out successfully. We acknowledge it. We don't beat ourselves up. Okay, I'm not the unicorn. I get it. I was eating grass. I don't have to. That's why I keep shitting myself, because I keep eating grass. Okay, good. Now, this situation requires you to figure out what the truth may be along the path of your purpose, but it flows. There is no resistance. This is going to flow. This is going to create. This is something solid and honest and true that you could rely on. But you have to be available and you have to show up, or else you can't. If you don't show up, there's no building. Okay? And so I feel like Spirit is saying, don't sleep on yourself. Reflect on the fact that your mind story of really thinking that you are this or lacking that or didn't have this or didn't do that is all a projection of your understanding, which is just a perspective. That's all it is. It is not true. And it's driving all of your actions with the 10 wands. Do you want that? No. Do you want to be right with your community of people that are just sort of tooting your horn, but it's not truthful? It's not in line with truth and who you are and your happiness. No, of course not. Well, then why are we doing this? Because that's exactly what we're doing. Suffering in a world that's misaligned. Okay? So there could be a lot of fears here and not having what we need. But again, what is that? That's another mind story, projecting that it would be fearful, or that we have something we don't like. We need something that we do, and we might not even need it. Don't let those projections of what you think coulda, woulda, shoulda, or what you need drive you to resist or fight or pretend you're snowing out this opportunity. So this is going to take you expressing truth. This is going to take you surrendering. This is going to take you admitting that you're not the unicorn and that you don't know. You don't know what you don't know, but it's not going to stop you. You don't need to know anything. And if you feel weak, you're going to feel stronger going in this direction. Of course you feel weak. I would feel weak too, wearing a mask and lying and snowing out and carrying everyone else's responsibility. Of course you feel weak. This other side is not going to make you feel weak. It's going to make you feel strong. It's going to make you feel powerful. It's going to be successful for you. It's a 10 of cups. It's in line with your dharma and your purpose. It's making you feel full of life. It's an ace of wands for you. It's rejuvenating you, giving you spark. It's creating something of substance, not on wobbly, shaky ground like a tower. That's why you're weak, feel rejected, feel down, feel whatever you feel, cold, alone, lonely, bored, I don't know, apathetic. Okay? So it's not just a dream pie in the sky there looking out a window. It's for you. It's for you. The universe is blessing you with this opportunity. Don't sleep on it. Pile number 3. This is your reading. I love you very much. I hope this helped you, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye.